Chapter 1951. Why wouldn't I dare? Ling Xiao immediately swore. If I, Ling Xiao, don't kill the mysterious underworld being and destroy the mysterious underworld's sacred hall in this lifetime, I will be trapped alive in this endless darkness. Good child. I really want to spend some time with you, but I don't have much time left. For more than 300 years, I have tried my best to minimize any activity and put my body in a state of suspended animation in order to survive. In order to pull you in, I have already moved my body. In less than 2 hours, I will be reduced to ashes. Therefore, during this time, I will condense my remaining cultivation base into a yuan energy crystal. As long as you use it like a spirit stone, you will be able to obtain all my remaining cultivation base and memories. The emaciated lady's eyes, which were originally lifeless, were now filled with determination. She had no other choice but to believe in Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao, who had originally hardened his heart, couldn't help but feel a little soft-hearted as he looked at this emaciated old lady. However, he also knew that this person was on the verge of death. Even a yuan venerate wouldn't be able to save her, let alone him. It has begun. The lady sat down in a lotus position. Her body was enveloped by a ball of white light and actually started to burn slowly. After a little more than 10 minutes, the lady's corpse had completely turned to ashes. However, inside those bone ashes, a 7-colored essence energy crystal appeared. Ling Xiao hesitated for a moment before kneeling down and kowtowing 3 times to the lady's ashes. Then he took the yuan energy crystal and put away the lady's ashes. Senior, although you only want to use me to help you take revenge, you have given me the yuan energy crystal. I know how to repay a debt of gratitude. I will definitely take revenge for you. Don't worry. Luo Yunyang took a deep breath. Ling Xiao wasn't in a hurry to use the yuan energy crystal. Instead, he sat down in a lotus position. The spiritual energy in this dark space was very abundant. It was actually more than 10 times more than outside. It seemed like this space was very special. He intended to use the spirit consciousness of the 2 king of sovereigns here first. Only by becoming stronger and firmer would he be able to better absorb the yuan energy crystal. During the purgatory blood battle, he had obtained the inheritance memories of the killing god by Ren, but hadn't cultivated them. That was because he felt that he was not capable enough to successfully cultivate it. Rather than wasting time, he might as well comprehend the inheritance of General Scarlet Sword first. However, things were different now. The king of sovereigns of the mystic world was as strong as the human kings of the past. Using his spiritual consciousness to comprehend the inheritance memories of the killing god White Blade, this was definitely feasible. He closed his eyes, and 3 swords appeared in the void. 3 origin swords. These 3 swords were covered in rust, as if they had been corroded by the passage of time, as if they were covered in blood. If he wanted to use it, the only way was to let them emit dazzling sword light. King of Sovereigns, lend me your divine consciousness. With a thought, Ling Xiao's heavenly mandate divine light emerged from his soul realm and shone on the 3 rusty origin swords. The mandate of heaven cannot be defied. Hurry up and restore your former glory. Ling Xiao was very nervous. He had figured out how to use a king of sovereigns' divine consciousness to unlock the killing god White Blade's inherited memories. But whether or not he was right, he really had no idea. If he succeeded, he would reap great rewards, but if he failed, he would really have wasted his time. After 10 days, even if he was still alive, he would be a far cry from the cultivators cultivating in the trial grounds. Crack! Although the sound wasn't pleasant, to Ling Xiao, it had become the most beautiful music in the world. The rust on the 3 swords cracked at almost the same time, and dazzling rays of light bloomed in the void. Ling Xiao suddenly opened his eyes. There really were 3 swords floating in front of him. Sword chi was overwhelming. Sword intent soared into the sky. Just by getting close, he could already feel the terrifying killing intent of these 3 swords. which made him tremble in fear. Bang! Ling Xiao attempted to reach out and touch the three swords, but he was sent flying by the terrifying sword intent, flying dozens of meters away. What a powerful sword intent! With my current strength, I can't even get close to it. Is this the terrifying sword intent that the killing god Bai Run possessed in the past? It's much stronger than General Red Blade's sword intent. As a human immortal, it seemed that the killing god White Blade was worthy of being one of the top 12 human immortals. Whether in terms of strength or understanding of the sword, he was much stronger than General Red Blade. You're all mine. Ling Xiao stood up and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. The same terrifying sword intent erupted from his body, and then he slowly walked toward the three origin swords. Sword intent fought against sword intent. Ling Xiao didn't intend to admit defeat. This time, he had to take these three origin swords for himself. They would become his weapons. In Ling Xiao's belief, there was no such thing as admitting defeat. Even if he died, he had to do what he wanted to do. He would never compromise. Fight! Ling Xiao roared, and the sword intent that erupted from his body condensed into a giant sword. It roared at the three origin swords. Boom! Ling Xiao was sent flying again, but this time he only took 2 steps back. It seems that the King of Sovereign's first divine consciousness hasn't lost its effect. Destiny cannot be defied. You belong to me, Ling Xiao. The killing god White Blade shadow appeared behind Ling Xiao, and his aura became even stronger. The remaining heavenly mandate, divine light, also covered the three origin swords. Crack! Something seemed to break. The three origin swords gave up on resisting, and their sword intent merged with Ling Xiao's own sword intent. At this moment, Ling Xiao was the killing god, but he wasn't White Blade. He had perfectly inherited the killing god's killing intent and sword intent, but he had his own independent personality. The first sword, the killing sword, merged. Ling Xiao originally had a killing sword, which was a spiritual sword condensed from his killing intent. And now, this sword of souls had merged with the true sword of slaughter, becoming even more powerful. Not only could it kill the human body, but it could also destroy the soul. It had perfectly merged with the killing god White Blade's killing intent. The soaring killing intent that came from the ancient battlefield was chilling. The second sword, the destruction sword, merged. Similarly, Ling Xiao's destruction sword and the killing god White Blade's destruction sword merged perfectly, forming a real sword that was condensed from origin energy and soul. It was more powerful and terrifying than the previous destruction sword. It was rumored that the killing god White Blade had once destroyed an entire nation with a single sword. The terrifying destruction sword intent shocked all living beings. The third sword was a brand new sword, and it was also the killing god White Blade's most powerful sword. The holy sword White Blade. This was White Blade's ultimate move after becoming one with the sword. Using this sword, Ling Xiao could transform into the killing god. Wearing blood-red armor, he looked like the killing god that had stepped out of the ancient battlefield. The so-called holy sword. Those that I kill are all demons. Those that I save are all heroes. Chapter 1952. The sword of slaughter and the sword of destruction floated in the air. Ling Xiao held the sacred sword White Blade in his hand. The blood-red battle form of the White Blade in his body was gradually fragmenting and fusing with the sacred sword. The sacred sword shone with a glaring red light. It was as if Ling Xiao had become one with the sword, and his body had undergone some subtle changes. A layer of blood-red battle armor covered his body. The blood-red cloak on his back fluttered in the wind. At this moment, he was the sacred sword White Blade. The sacred sword White Blade was him, man and sword as one, perfect and flawless. The two killing intents also subtly fused into one, completely becoming Ling Xiao's own strength. He waved his hand gently. The air was filled with a sacred aura, but this aura was enough to make people tremble in fear. At this moment, Ling Xiao seemed to be standing on an ancient battlefield. The opponents he faced were all human immortal experts. He knew that this was because he had inherited the memories of the killing god White Blade. This wasn't his own strength. If he really had such terrifying strength, not to mention those so-called top geniuses, even the 13 rebirth realm experts of the Black Tortoise Temple wouldn't be enough. This terrifying sword intent could easily crush any human immortal expert, let alone a rebirth realm expert. It was as if there was only the killing god between heaven and earth. With a sword in hand, he was invincible. Even though his battle armor was dyed red, the fighting spirit in his eyes didn't diminish. Perhaps this is the effect of completely inheriting the killing god White Blade's inheritance. Ling Xiao stopped waving the sacred sword White Blade. He just stood there quietly, feeling the astonishing sword intent released by the sword. He wanted to communicate with the sword on a deeper level. He wanted to completely transform all the sword intent into his own. These sword intents weren't his now, but slowly transformed. One day they would completely belong to him. Moreover, the killing god White Blade's understanding of the sword Tao and the use of sword skills were much stronger than his. This was the best time to comprehend and experience. He didn't have a teacher in the sword Tao. Everything was basically self-taught. He had once received a little guidance from a human king, but it was far from enough. At this time, he was eagerly absorbing the experiences of his predecessors. Bai Ren, the killing god, was probably the best at fighting among the 12 worldly immortals. Since he could get the title of killing god, it was not an undeserved reputation because he was the worldly immortal who had killed the most people on the battlefield. Ha ha ha! Xianming, you would never have thought that you would solve the problem that has been troubling me for a long time. With these 3 origin swords, even if I don't make a breakthrough in my cultivation, my strength will be greatly improved. In the Battle of the Kings in 10 days, I will take the first place in front of you. Ling Xiao sighed with emotion. The King of Sovereigns Divine will was simply too powerful. Not only did it help him break the seal on the 3 origin swords, but it also increased his comprehension by tenfold or even tenfold. At this moment, he believed that no matter how difficult a martial art was in this world, as long as he took a look at it, he could easily learn it. The King of Sovereigns was indeed the strongest existence in the mystic world. His divine will was also terrifyingly powerful. Outside this independent space, the people in the divine prison temple had already gone crazy. They had searched almost every corner of the divine prison temple, but they had not found anything suspicious. What a joke! They had not found this place for more than 300 years. How could they find it in such a short time? Ling Xiao was really lucky to have been pulled into this place by the skinny woman. Otherwise, he would not have had such a quiet environment to comprehend sword intent. At this moment, the space was filled with sword intent. Illusory sword shadows flew back and forth in the air. Ling Xiao stood there like a statue, holding the sacred sword Bai Ren in his hand and comprehending continuously. Comprehending. As time passed, his understanding of the killing god Bai Ren's sword Tao deepened. His understanding of his own sword Tao also became more profound. Unknowingly, the sword in his hand moved again. All kinds of movements were performed in this space. At times it seemed a little sluggish, but at other times it was like moving clouds and flowing water. Ling Xiao was practicing what he had comprehended. People who practiced martial arts should know very well. No matter how strong a person's talent was, if they did not have a master to guide them, they might need 3, 4, or even longer to comprehend something that could be comprehended in a day. Ling Xiao was at a disadvantage when it came to sword Tao because he did not have a master to guide him. Now that he had obtained the complete inheritance and memory of the killing god Bai Ren, it was as if he had found a master. Whether it was the technique of using the sword or the method of using sword intent, the memory had the answer. Unknowingly, 7 days had passed. Ling Xiao was like a sharp sword. Anyone who got close to him could feel the pain of being cut by the sword aura. He opened his eyes. The sword aura that seemed to have substance instantly pierced through the void. It was as if he could kill with his gaze. This was probably what it meant to have a gaze like a sword. I seem to have reached a bottleneck. Ling Xiao returned to his original appearance. Then he threw a bunch of recovery elixirs into his mouth and started to recover his physical strength. Disciple, time is limited. The improvement of Sword Dao cannot be achieved overnight. In any case, you have already obtained the complete inheritance of the killing god Byron. You can slowly comprehend it in the future. Why don't you strengthen your other aspects while you still have a second king of sovereigns, spirit consciousness? This will definitely be beneficial to you. The Yuan Venerate reminded him. Although he did not understand Sword Dao, he understood that martial arts could not be rushed for quick success. If he was too hasty, not only would it be difficult to improve, but there might also be danger. That was not something Ling Xiao wanted to see. I understand, Master. Ling Xiao nodded. The second king of sovereigns, spirit consciousness, was released and poured into the seal between his eyebrows. Destiny, do not defy me. Demons be mine. The destiny divine light shone on the seal, and the 7 sky demon lords cried out in pain. However, this situation did not last long. This won't do. These 7 sky demon lords are too strong. Even the spirit consciousness of a king of sovereigns can only be used to baptize 1 sky demon lord. It is simply impossible to baptize 7 sky demon lords at the same time. Ling Xiao realized that the situation was not right. Thus, he made a prompt decision and used the destiny divine light to envelop the body of the demon lord of the first heaven. The demon lord of the first heaven had been integrated into Ling Xiao's body in the past. Thus, he was more familiar with it. It was also more targeted. After 2 hours, the demon lord of the first heaven finally submitted to the destiny divine light. Its soul was completely cleansed, and it became a powerful fighting force for Ling Xiao. The sky demon incarnation could finally advance to the next stage. Luo Yunyang's fighting strength would increase tremendously after becoming a sky demon lord. He was really looking forward to it. Chapter 1953. After successfully using the King of Sovereigns' divine consciousness to subdue the demon king of the first heaven, Ling Xiao spent another day to familiarize himself with the demon king of the first heaven's battle techniques. On the 9th day, Ling Xiao used the remnants of the King of Sovereigns' divine consciousness to strengthen his mystic world body. The mystic world body and the power of the imperial heaven Queen Earth directly affected Ling Xiao's body. To him, it wasn't just a powerful defensive technique, it was also a terrifying force that couldn't be ignored. It would be a pity if he couldn't strengthen it. As Ling Xiao entered a state of cultivation, the originally pitch-black space changed. There was a distinction between heaven and earth. The sky was clear, and the ground was chaotic. The imperial heaven's huge body floated in the void and emitted a green light. This was the pure power of the imperial heaven. It was a true imperial heaven god and not an illusory existence. This space is indeed a little strange. It seems like the things in one's imagination can become reality. How terrifying! Ling Xiao had always had this feeling. He had sensed this from the moment he saw the 3 origin swords, but he was not certain. But now he could clearly feel it. Perhaps this space had been modified by the skinny old woman. After all, martial souls were very strange things. Perhaps the old woman's martial soul could make one's imagination become reality. Of course, this was only Ling Xiao's guess for now. Whether it was true or not, he would only know after he absorbed the origin power crystal. Right now, he needed to focus on comprehending the power of the Imperial Heaven Queen Earth. The Imperial Heaven looked down on all living beings and cared for them. All living beings living in the mystic world were under the Imperial Heaven's attention at all times. The Imperial Heaven Queen Earth was below. On the ground, a graceful figure stood there, releasing a heavy aura. The Imperial Heaven Queen Earth was where all living beings grew. She was the one who gave life and allowed all living beings to live. The power of life and the power of nature belonged to the Imperial Heaven Queen Earth. The Imperial Heaven Queen Earth and the Imperial Heaven Queen Earth complemented each other and were the strongest forces in the mystic world. Suddenly, Ling Xiao's mind moved and the pitch-black space appeared again. It seemed like it was going to devour the world protected by the Imperial Heaven Queen Earth. The Imperial Heaven Queen Earth's eyes opened wide and let out a furious roar. Then her battle intent rumbled as she released the Imperial Heaven Queen Earth. They transformed into the fist of the firmament, the fist of the sun, the fist of the cold moon, and the fist of the torrential storm. Heaven sword, heavenly punishment sword, lightning immortal slaying sword, sun and moon demon sword. Hutta's face was cold and solemn. The power of Hutu was released from the ground under her feet. They transformed into the shield of earth, the light of life, the wrath of all spirits, and the world tree. The Imperial Heaven, Queen Earth, Heaven Earth was earth. Roaring roar of the heaven, roar earth. This was the Heaven Queen Earth, Heaven Earth, Heaven Beast Earth. She waved her scepter again, and the terrifying lava turned into a giant dragon. The raging waves turned into a giant whale, and the mountain rocks turned into giants. The Queen Earth. Ling Xiao slowly opened his eyes and looked at this scene in amazement. He was incomparably shocked. This was of BB's a real battle, was real battle, Heaven Earth battle. He stood on the battlefield like a small boat in the ocean, constantly swaying and trembling amidst the raging waves of battle intent. All of this was so real, so shocking. He was like a tiny living being in this world. He was threatened by the power of darkness, yet he was also protected by the Heaven Empress. Although they were weak, they could feel a strong sense of security. Too powerful. If there comes a day when I, Ling Xiao, am able to completely grasp the inherited memories of the Royal Heaven Earth Queen, I will definitely be able to do so. Transforming into the imperial sky would allow him to possess the strongest attack in the profound world, and he would be able to kill all enemies that dared to offend him. After transforming into Ho-Tu, I have the strongest defense in the profound world. No one can hurt me, let alone my friends. Imperial Sky is the spear, and Empress Earth is the shield. The combination of the two is flawless. Ling Xiao could not help but feel excited. The two strongest legacies he had obtained in the Purgatory War had finally grown once more in this special space. Compared to the Heavenly Queen of Earth, compared to the God of Slaughter, Byron, what could a mere mysterious underworld be considered? Perhaps the Heavenly Queen of Earth could completely annihilate the mysterious underworld with a single punch. By Ren's killing intent alone was enough to make all the rebirth grade powerhouses in Black Tortoise Sacred Hall tremble in fear. This was true power. He did not forget that his master's Yuan Venerate's enemy was the king of sovereigns in the profound world. Just two strands of his spirit consciousness were extremely powerful. If he wanted to help his master succeed in his revenge, he had to possess such powerful combat strength. The Heavenly Queen of Earth was also one of the 10,000 living beings that had grown up from being weak. The God of Slaughter, Byron, had continued to grow through battle after battle and eventually became an existence that instilled fear in countless enemies on the ancient battlefield. Of course, Luo Yunyang could also become such an existence. As he thought about this, Ling Xiao suddenly realized that he had actually become the Heavenly Queen of the Void. An extremely powerful power was constantly released from his body. Ling Xiao felt as if he was in control of everything, as if he could exterminate everything. The entire sky was his body. He brandished the huge sword in his hand and once again clashed with the power of darkness. During the battle, he continued to fumble and comprehend. Although he knew that this powerful power did not belong to him, it would definitely belong to him one day as long as he worked hard to comprehend it and learn from it. Half a day later, Ling Xiao landed on the ground and his body emitted chaotic light as he transformed into the heavenly queen of earth. Lava dragon, raging sea whale, world tree, mountain giant, shield of earth. Ling Xiao used the divine power of the heavenly queen of earth to execute a divine technique that did not belong to him. It was a spectacular sight. This is really exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. If I can use such a terrifying power, who can be my opponent? As Ling Xiao comprehended the divine power of the heavenly queen of earth, the cells of the heavenly queen of earth in his body continued to strengthen and improve. They increased from 1,400 to 1,600 before stopping temporarily. However, every cell seemed to have become stronger than before. Perhaps this was the best effect of comprehending the inheritance of the heavenly queen of earth. Another half a day passed. Ling Xiao retracted his thoughts and looked at the skinny woman's origin power crystal. It's time to use it. Tomorrow was the last day. Ling Xiao did not want to miss the battle of the kings. He wanted to make those enemies who wanted to deal with him angry and go crazy. He wanted to defeat those who took away what belonged to him. As his power increased, his cultivation level had to increase as well. Otherwise, he would not be able to fully unleash this new power. He took out the origin power crystal and held it in his hand. An abundant amount of origin power rushed into his body. At that instant, the entire space suddenly shook. Ling Xiao frowned as if he had understood something. This space was indeed created by the skinny woman with her terrifying power. Chapter 1954. Ling Xiao was now certain that the space was created by the emaciated woman. If he absorbed the elemental energy crystal, the space would collapse at the same time. Although the space had countless benefits, Ling Xiao couldn't stay here forever. After hesitating for a moment, he clenched his teeth and started cultivating again. The woman said that it was remnant elemental energy, but in Ling Xiao's opinion, even the remnant elemental energy was much stronger than his own. If he hadn't strengthened the Earth Empress's cells, he wouldn't have been able to withstand the invasion of this terrifying energy. Remnant King of Sovereign's consciousness, help me tame this energy. In his soul realm, the remnant divine light of heaven's mandate wrapped around the energy that was rushing into Ling Xiao's body. Then the crazy and tyrannical energy became docile and started circulating in his meridians. This caused his aura to become stronger and his cultivation to rise rapidly. So this person is actually the old palace master of Nine Heaven Palace. He was plotted against by Xianming. As he absorbed the elemental energy crystal, Ling Xiao also obtained a part of the memories of the old palace master of Nine Heaven Palace. He knew the identity of this person and the hatred between this person and Xianming and the Black Tortoise Temple. In the memories, there were many martial arts of Nine Heaven Palace. Each of them was very powerful. The weakest one was a mid-jade grade martial art. The old palace master himself had mastered 13 types of powerful martial arts. However, he shouldn't bite off more than he could chew. Ling Xiao didn't learn all of them. Instead, he chose a sword art that was most suitable for him. Although his godly exterminator physique and sacred sword white blade were powerful, without the support of a sword art, their attacks were a little monotonous. Therefore, Ling Xiao chose the best sword art among them, the 19 moves Hell sword art. This sword art was created with the Yin-Yang realm's 18 levels of Hell as the foundation. The creator of this sword art was Godly Exterminator Bai Ren. Bai Ren gave this sword art to Nine Heaven Palace so that they could guard the isolated place of Myriad Thunders. Bai Ren's sword art was naturally most suitable for her. Every move was filled with dense killing intent and the aura of hell. The killing intent in the sword intent became even more eerie. Combined with the slaughter god's physique and the holy sword white blade, the effect would naturally be the best. Ling Xiao, who had chosen this set of sword techniques, was not in a hurry to practice them. His main goal now was to raise his cultivation base. He just sat there, allowing the energy within the essence energy crystal to continuously flow into his body. 6 hours later, this energy was circulating smoothly in his body, and most of it had been converted into his own strength. He could feel that his own cultivation base was also steadily increasing. If someone else was here, they would definitely discover that half of Ling Xiao's surroundings was a blazing day, while the other half was a frosty night. The light profound and shadow profound were the key to Ling Xiao's improvement. This newly obtained energy also pushed the two profound meanings to a higher level at the same time. Ling Xiao sat cross-legged at the intersection of night and day, as if he was the ruler of the vast universe. Solemn and mysterious, it gave people an indescribable feeling of power. Rumble. As the essence energy crystal became smaller and smaller, the mysterious space became more and more unstable. Looks like it's time to leave. Unknowingly, it's almost the end of the last day. Ling Xiao slowly opened his eyes and absorbed the last essence energy crystal. It seemed that something in his body had been broken. Behind him, an enormous mirror appeared. So this is the martial soul of the old palace master, the magic mirror martial soul. The magic mirror martial soul could turn a martial artist's thoughts into reality. Therefore, the old palace master had been cultivating illusions. Usually it was illusions, but through the magic mirror martial soul, it could be turned into reality. The power of the illusions was linked to the martial artist's cultivation base. It was considered a very unique martial soul. Through this martial soul, one could clearly find the problems in their martial arts and then compare them to make up for it. Ling Xiao did not need this function. He had the Tai Chi eye, so he could clearly see the problems in his martial arts. However, it would be very useful to his friends. At the same time that Ling Xiao stepped out of the mysterious space, the 8 people who had advanced through the revival round had already arrived at the Thunder City's arena. Among the other 10 people, 9 of them had also stepped out of the training ground. It was obvious that the 9 of them had experienced a great increase in both their cultivation and strength. This meant that each trial ground had its own unique effect. The 9 people were not in a hurry to leave. They all stood there, staring at the first door. They did not know what would happen after entering, so they thought that the person in the first door was Ling Xiao. It was almost time, but Ling Xiao had not come out. Everyone had their own thoughts. From the order in which we came out, the first door should have the most benefits, so we came out last. I wonder what kind of benefits Brother Ling got. I'm really looking forward to it. Long Chen's eyes were filled with a strange golden light. He looked at the door, excitedly. Each of them had 10 days of cultivation time, but in fact, from the 8th day onwards, people came out of the training ground one after another. It was obvious that every training ground had a time limit, and it was less than 10 days. Only the first door seemed to have reached the standard of 10 days, so it must have obtained the most benefits. Master's talent and comprehension are the highest among these people. Coupled with the fact that he is ranked first in the training ground, he will definitely be able to get a good ranking in the Battle of the Kings ranking tournament. He will definitely be in the top 3. Cold Plum was also very confident in Ling Xiao. After interacting with Ling Xiao for a long time, she knew how terrifying Ling Xiao's talent and comprehension were. It was definitely not something that ordinary people could compare with. I'm afraid he's already dead inside. Xiao Badian snorted coldly. He was very unhappy that Ling Xiao could actually get such a good training ground. His strength was obviously inferior to him, but he could surpass him. This was too unfair. Right at this moment, the first door finally opened slowly. A figure slowly stepped out from inside, as if an immortal walked out from a celestial palace. It actually emitted a powerful aura that made people fearful. It's not Ling Xiao. Green Hilly Fire. Everyone was stunned. The one who walked out of the best training ground was not Ling Xiao, but the green hilly fire who advanced through the revival competition. What was going on? Ha ha ha. Everyone, are you very surprised? Actually, there's no need to be surprised. A voice rang out. The 9 people turned around and saw that it was Lin Yuan from before. What's going on? Where's my master? Chapter 1955. Your master? You actually took that reckless trash as your master. What a joke, Lin Yuan sneered. Ling Xiao offended honored Rubik's Cube and was stripped of his right to cultivate in the trial grounds. He's been locked up in the Imperial Prison Shrine's prison for the past 10 days. Of course, you don't have to worry. This trash will be released today. Ha 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 ha. His status was relatively low, so he didn't know what had happened to Ling Xiao in the Imperial Prison Shrine. He thought that Ling Xiao had been locked up for the past 10 days. Of course, the Black Tortoise Shrine couldn't announce that Ling Xiao had escaped because that would be too shameful. A 15th level Yin-Yang realm martial artist had escaped from a place that even rebirth realm martial artists couldn't escape from. That was simply too ironic. Shameless. Long Chen cursed loudly. I really didn't expect that your Black Tortoise Temple is actually such a shameless group of people, depriving the participating cultivators of their right to cultivate for no reason. If this were to be known by outsiders, does your Black Tortoise Temple still want to establish itself in the White Tiger continent? Long Chen, don't be so angry. It's already good that they didn't kill me. At this moment, the sound of chains rang out. Ling Xiao was escorted over by Xian Yi and a dozen divine guards. Honored Rubik's Cube was even by his side. Previously, Honored Rubik's Cube had caught Ling Xiao as soon as he emerged from the space, but he didn't resist and let them tie him up in chains. In any case, it was already the last day. Since they couldn't kill him, they could only let him go. Many people in the Black Tortoise Shrine, including Xianming, probably hoped that he'd die on the stage. That would save them a lot of trouble. In their eyes, Ling Xiao's cultivation hadn't increased at all, nor his strength. Against other martial artists who'd obviously improved their strength, he'd definitely be killed. Whether it was Feng Fei, Tianhai Tyranny, Lei Lai, Xiao Budian, or Qingqiu Lihua, even Ling Xiao would only be a dead end. Even Venerable Magic Cube didn't discover that Ling Xiao was hiding his cultivation. If this were before, Ling Xiao wouldn't have been able to hide his cultivation from Venerable Magic Cube. However, it was different now. With the demonic mirror martial spirit, Ling Xiao could display whatever strength he wanted. Even a rebirth realm martial artist would not be able to see through him. This was the strength of the magic mirror martial soul. Of course, he had to make it seem as if he didn't get anything. Otherwise, how could these people from the Black Tortoise Temple be at ease to send him to the Battle of the Kings? Haha, trash. Who asked you to offend the Black Tortoise Temple? Now you've tasted the bitterness. Originally, I was worried that you would obtain some benefits in the training ground. Now it seems that my worries were unnecessary. Xiao Budian was the first to laugh out loud. The rest of the people who had a grudge against Ling Xiao also had mocking expressions on their faces. Ling Xiao was at the 15th level of the Yin-Yang realm before he went in. After he came out, he was still at the same level. This proved that Lin Yuan's words were right. This Ling Xiao was really locked up in the prisons for 10 days. To them, this was definitely a good thing. I'll definitely get revenge for my big sister. Just you wait. Qingqiu Lihua had obtained great benefits in the first training ground. Not only did her cultivation increase, but her physical attributes also improved greatly. She was originally at the 17th level of the Yin-Yang realm, but now she had broken through to the 18th level and reached the peak of the 18th level. And this was just her cultivation. She had obtained an immortal fire in the training ground, the celestial fox demon fire. Her own fire attribute had improved greatly as well. The power of her martial arts had increased by a level. She believed that if she participated in the Battle of the Kings now, she could easily advance to the final round. Even if she met Feng Fei, Tian Hai tyranny, or Lei Lai, she wouldn't fear them at all. Ling Shao looked at Qingqiu Li Hua with a grin and said, "Trash is trash in the end. Even if you obtain my things and obtain my opportunity, you still can't escape defeat. Don't worry, I'll send you on your way to reunite with your big sister, Fairy Qingqiu, in the underworld. Is there something wrong with this person's head? He's already like this, but he still dares to boast like this?" Lin Yuan looked at Ling Shao. He couldn't understand what this guy was thinking. Qingqiu Li Hua had clearly been locked up in the prisons for 10 days, but she'd spent those 10 days in the training grounds. Even if Qingqiu Li Hua wasn't as strong as you before, it was only by a hair's breadth. Now that she's definitely much stronger than you, I don't know what else you can be proud of. Ling Shao glanced at Lin Yuan indifferently and did not say anything. What was the point of arguing with this kind of person? Once they were on the stage, he'd let everyone know what he, Ling Shao, had experienced. He'd also let the world know what the Black Tortoise Temple had done. Ling Shao, after you go out, it's best not to talk nonsense. Also, watch your friend's mouth. Venerable Rubix looked at Ling Shao coldly and said, "You should know that although we're afraid of breaking the vases, don't push us too far. If you completely annoy us, even if Xianfeng dies, we'll kill you and your friends. Don't forget. Is there any use in saying so much?" Ling Shao glanced at Venerable Rubix and said, "I've already seen your shamelessness and brazenness. Don't worry, I'm not that stupid." He didn't say the second half of his sentence. "When I have absolute confidence in protecting my friends, then I'll definitely announce the dirty things you've done." Now, it was better to participate in the Battle of the Kings with peace of mind. Embarrassing the Black Tortoise Temple on the stage was also a good choice. He believed that other than him, the others should have already agreed to join the Black Tortoise Temple. Every time he defeated a martialist, it would be equivalent to slapping the Black Tortoise Temple in the face. Now that he had to face 18 people, it would really be like slapping the Black Tortoise Temple in the face 18 times. Lawless, it's the people who are here to pick you up. Venerable Rubix had already done what he had to do. He ordered people to remove the chains on Ling Zhao's body and shouted into the distance, "They've been here for a long time." Lawless figure appeared, but he didn't say much. He just glanced at Ling Shao indifferently before turning around and leaving. 11 people followed behind him and headed outside. The moment they stepped out of the huge teleportation array, the 11 of them felt a little uneasy. Perhaps the heaven and earth spiritual energy in the Black Tortoise Temple was too abundant. When they stepped outside, they immediately felt the pitifully thin spiritual energy, which was really a little uncomfortable. However, the heaven and earth spiritual energy in the vicinity of the desolate lightning grounds was much stronger than the outside world. It was really infuriating to compare oneself to others. The difference in cultivation environments was really too big. Chapter 1956. Thunderclap City, which had been quiet for 10 days, was bustling again. It seemed to be even livelier than before. Originally, many warriors had decided to come and watch the Battle of the Kings at the end of the ranking battle. Therefore, the originally crowded crowd was now like an ocean of seawater surrounding the shocking Thunder City. While the crowd was chatting, a giant ring appeared in the sky. Lawless was the first to step out of the ring. "He's out." Everyone gulped nervously. They were so excited that they couldn't control themselves. The Battle of the Kings was the final battle between the top 20 contestants. No one could avoid it. Of course, the audience didn't know that Green Hill Fairy had been eliminated by Ling Shao. Why is Green Hill Li Hua in there too? Didn't she advance through the revival round? Seeing Green Hill Li Hua with the other 10 contestants who had entered the trial ground through the main competition, the audience was confused. However, the Black Tortoise Temple always did things unexpectedly. Although they were surprised, they didn't ask much. What they cared about the most was the Battle of the Kings. It was obvious that other than Ling Shao, the other 9 contestants in the main competition and the revival round had obviously improved. It was just that some of them improved more than others. I can see that after these people were taken away, they basically got some benefits. But what's wrong with that Ling Xiao? I can't see any changes in his strength. Instead, he seems to be a little dispirited. Even a blind man could see the obvious difference between Ling Xiao and the other contestants. It seemed that Ling Xiao's first place wouldn't be maintained this time. Everyone thought so, including Long Chen and Cold Plum. They knew that Ling Xiao's chance had been taken away, so Ling Xiao would definitely widen the gap between him and the others. Even if his strength didn't decrease, it would be very difficult for him to get into the top 3. You too have to work hard. I think highly of your talents. Even if you can't maintain your original ranking, you must stay in the top 10. Ling Xiao was still putting on an act for those who looked down on him. He would give them a surprise later. It would be very exciting. Boom! 11 silhouettes landed on the arena and joined the 8 people from before. There were a total of 19 people, and they were the participants of this ranking station. But because there was also the possibility of killing one's opponent in the ranking battles, the martial artists left behind in the end might not be this many. Those who have been to the trial grounds are indeed different. Their auras are clearly stronger. Except for Ling Xiao, the other 8 people frowned when they landed on the arena. Obviously, they were a little worried. Ling Xiao, I know you won't disappoint me. You will definitely give those who look down on you a big surprise. The Liquor Demon Sword and Hong Qi stood together and looked at Ling Xiao in the distance. He did not know what had happened in the Black Tortoise Divine Palace. However, he believed that no matter what happened, Ling Xiao would have a way to reverse it. Geniuses were born to defy fate. If they couldn't defy fate, then they couldn't be considered geniuses. Who killed my son's crown prince consort? At this moment, a wild howl came from the horizon. Immediately, everyone seemed to see a giant crocodile descend from the sky. A towering figure stood in the air. He wore a divine crocodile imperial robe and a crown on his head. If he wasn't the emperor of the Sky Sea Empire, who else could he be? Behind the Sky Sea King, there was a team of experts accompanying him. Every one of these experts possessed formidable strength that struck fear in others. Imperial Father, Tian Hai Tyranny bowed to greet the Sky Sea Emperor. He was the most authoritative and powerful existence in the Sky Sea Empire. Who killed your woman? The Sky Sea Emperor asked coldly. Ling Xiao, Tian Hai Tyranny, gnashed his teeth. But Imperial Father need not worry. His life is mine. I will definitely avenge the crown prince consort's death. When the crowd heard this, they were not only shocked, but also worried for Ling Xiao. It was said that the emperor did not leave the court. Leaving the court was a big matter. The Sky Sea Emperor had actually personally come to the Myriad Thunder desolate ground to watch the battle between the kings of the White Tiger meet. This showed how important this battle was to him. Ling Xiao had offended this emperor. His life wouldn't be long. Good. We will stay here and watch you kill that Ling Xiao. This person has repeatedly disrespected our Sky Sea Empire in the Divine Phoenix continent. It is time for him to pay the price. The Sky Sea Emperor said coldly. This son obeys. Tian Hai Tyranny glanced coldly at Ling Xiao. He swore that he would not only take the White Tiger meets champion, but also tear Ling Xiao to shreds. That Ling Xiao's life is my Silver Fox Empire's. Suddenly another voice was heard. A graceful and elegant woman wearing a 9-tailed robe arrived in a 9-tailed carriage. Countless female experts accompanied her. When she arrived, it was as if the entire sky was filled with a strange fragrance, making people unable to resist. What a terrifying, bewitching fragrance! The martial artists hurriedly circulated their internal energy to resist the bewitching fragrance. Otherwise, they would lose face in front of countless people. Queen of Green Hill. This was the Queen of the Silver Fox Empire, the master of Green Hill Ferry and Green Hill Lihua. Everyone looked at this woman. Although they felt close to her, they couldn't help but be wary. This woman's cultivation was too frightening. "Master, you're finally here. Big sister has been killed." Green Hill Li Hua saw the queen and began to complain. "I already know. It's that Ling Xiao. He's dead for sure." The Queen of Green Hill stared at Ling Xiao. She couldn't wait to tear Ling Xiao to shreds. Although Green Hill Fairy wasn't her biological child, she had always treated her as her own. How could she not be angry when Ling Xiao killed her? "Master, don't worry. I will kill him in the Battle of the Kings." Green Hill Li Hua gritted his teeth and said, "I will definitely avenge sister." Oh my God! I was wondering why Green Hill Fairy disappeared. So she was killed by Ling Xiao. I don't know what happened inside, but this Ling Xiao is really strong. Yeah, he killed the 100-eyed demon Lord Wulong, then the Crown Princess. Now he even killed Green Hill Fairy. This guy killed 3 top geniuses alone. How terrifying. It's a pity. Although he's strong, he has offended too many people. He won't be able to live. If I were him, I would definitely find a way to escape. The crowd discussed. Some felt that Ling Xiao was strong, while others felt that Ling Xiao was crazy. Anyway, there was one thing that everyone agreed on. Ling Xiao had to die. After the Queen of Green Hill appeared, the master of the Sky Wolf sect also appeared. The Sky Wolf Empire was very special. It was a place where sects controlled the country. The emperor was only in charge of daily management. The master of the Sky Wolf sect was the real ruler. Chapter 1957. The strength of the Sky Wolf sect master was comparable to that of the Sky Ocean King and the Green Hill Queen. How are the two of you feeling? The first thing the Sky Wolf sect master asked after arriving was the Sky Wolf Prince and the Silver Wolf Princess. "We can't get first place, but we can get into the top 3. The Sky Wolf Prince gritted his teeth and said, "I'm not talented, but it's good enough if I can get into the top 10. The Silver Wolf Princess said, "Good. You can't be without ambition, but you can't be without self-awareness. Remember what you said and get the ranking you want." "Ha ha ha ha. Stupid wolf, your son and daughter are too useless. They have such low expectations for themselves." Rough laughter rang out. The Tiger King of the White Tiger Empire had arrived. He revealed his tiger head and tiger body. It was said that this guy hated the human form the most, so he had always lived in this form. He would only transform into his human form under special circumstances. "Stupid tiger, so what if you're loud? One of your tiger cubs is dead. There are only 2 left. Do you think they can get first place?" The Sky Wolf sect master said coldly. "Lei Lai, speak. I'm here to get first place. I'm not interested in anything else." Lei Lai said indifferently. It seemed that he had gained a lot of benefits in the trial ground. He was obviously very confident now. "Good. Lei Tun, what about you?" "I'm not as good as Lei Lai. I'm willing to get second place." Lei Tun said after hesitating. He knew the Tiger King's temper, so he didn't dare to lower his ranking. "Ha ha ha, good, very good. It's good that you have this confidence." The Tiger King laughed happily. "Humph. I'm afraid that the greater the expectation, the greater the disappointment." The Sky Wolf sect master sneered and looked at the young geniuses in the arena. None of them were easy to deal with. The few experts arrived quickly. After a while, the reinforcements from the 4 empires finally arrived. After all, these 4 were the rulers of the 4 empires. They couldn't let anything happen to them. Of course, the 4 of them had to attend the White Tiger Tempest gathering this time. Since the appearance of the Mountain River Martial Soul, the mystic world's martial arts had improved by leaps and bounds. The White Tiger meet this time was very special. It could determine the strength of the White Tiger continent in the future. Therefore, no one wanted to miss this opportunity. Many people did not notice that a Taoist had appeared in Thunderclap City. This Taoist was dressed plainly and did not have the aura of an expert. Standing in the crowd, he looked just like an ordinary person. However, the disciples of Jingyi School in Thunderclap City were all respectful to him and did not dare to slight him in the slightest. This person was probably even more powerful than the 4 top experts of the 4 great empires. He was the sect master of the Jingyi School. It was said that he was the only martial artist on the White Tiger continent who could communicate with the Immortal Court. His strength had always been a mystery. Feng Fei was the first to notice this Taoist, but he only smiled back at him. It seemed that in the Jingyi School, this person deliberately kept a low profile, perhaps to avoid the eyes and ears of the Black Tortoise Temple. These experts, in addition to the Medicine King's son, Sa, Ji Qing, Fan Rohai, and others who had already arrived at the Thunder-Shocking City, really formed a powerful lineup of experts. With so many experts paying attention to the Battle of the Kings, it would definitely be very exciting. This was also what the audience was looking forward to. They were very excited because martial artists would work harder to perform under the watchful eyes of their masters or loved ones. This made the competition even more exciting. Everyone has come to my 10,000 lightning desolate grounds to give my Black Tortoise Temple face. However, the White Tiger meet is the fairest competition on the White Tiger continent. This honorable one does not wish for any violations of the rules to occur. Otherwise, the temple will send down divine punishment. I trust that the 4 great empires and the Jingyi School will not be able to bear it. Lawless said slowly. Obviously, there was a tinge of nervousness in his voice. It wasn't because he was afraid, but because he had a guilty conscience. He knew what the Black Tortoise Temple had done to Ling Xiao. The first to make this battle unfair was none other than the Black Tortoise Divine Palace. Of course, the audience didn't pick up on his guilty conscience. They still felt that the temple was incomparably powerful and that nothing would go wrong at the White Tiger meet. After all, no one wanted an outside force to interfere with the Battle of the Kings and ruin this top-tier competition. Don't worry, we're just here to watch, not to cause trouble. However, I hope that the Black Tortoise Temple won't meddle too much with what we do after the White Tiger meet. The Tianhai King said coldly, "As long as you leave the 10,000 lightning desolate grounds, you can do whatever you want." Xianming finally stepped out of the temple and arrived at the referee's seat. He had already appeared before, so he naturally wouldn't miss the final ranking match. Venerable Rubik's Cube and Bound Skies Venerable had arrived with him. They all wanted to see what kind of remarkable abilities Ling Xiao had to be able to escape from the temple's heavenly prison and evade capture for 10 days before he was caught. Moreover, they suspected that Ling Xiao had been caught on purpose. "Thank you for your understanding, Sect Master Xianming." The Tianhai King cupped his hands. The other experts didn't dare disobey the Sect Master Xianming. After all, they were no match for him in terms of strength and cultivation. Lawless announced the start of the Battle of the Kings ranking match. Xianming glanced at the crowd and then said to Lawless, "Yes." With Xianming sitting there, Lawless felt more confident. Otherwise, if these guys really wanted to cause trouble, he wouldn't be able to handle it alone. Ahem! The final battle of the White Tiger meet is about to begin. Before that, I'd like to announce the rules. Lawless said loudly, "The rules of the ranking match are very simple. A win earns you 3 points, a draw earns you 1 point, and a loss earns you 0 points. The final ranking will be based on the points. The more points you have, the higher your rank." Every one of them had to fight against the other 18. Of course, if there's an accident in the process, such as a martial artist dying in battle, it'll be calculated separately. The rules were obviously fairer. Everyone couldn't avoid the others, so they had to face each other directly. What happens if the points are the same? Someone asked. If the points are the same, it'll be based on the result of the battle. The winner will be ranked higher. If it's a draw, then they'll have to fight another match to determine the winner. Of course, that's basically impossible. Lawless answered. Everyone nodded at the answer. This was obviously fairer than the previous matches. Chapter 1958. Due to the change in the rules, everyone will have to fight against the other 18. Therefore, all kinds of possibilities will arise in the following battles. Also, I need to remind you that the King Ranking Tournament will be broadcasted to the Dragon Phoenix continent, White Tiger continent, and the nearby islands through the Law Tower. In other words, every battle of yours will be watched by all the martial artists on these 2 continents. Your family, your friends, and your sect will all be watching your performance. The glory is right in front of you. Whoever gets first place will be revealed in the final King Ranking Tournament. Also, the winning rules will be the same as before. Kill your opponent, knock him off the stage, or surrender. I need to remind you that if your opponent surrenders, you're not allowed to continue attacking. Otherwise, it will be considered a violation of the rules, and we can intervene to stop it. Do you all understand? Understood. Such rules had been in place since the beginning of the King Ranking Tournament, so there was nothing much to say. Everyone understood. If they encountered an undefeatable opponent, they could give up. Although they would get fewer points, they would not lose their lives. However, once they surrendered, it would be the same as giving up the title to someone else and withdrawing from the championship. It's good that you understand. Then, the King Ranking Tournament will officially begin. Those who enter the top 10 will still have priority in choosing their opponents. You can choose opponents that you can easily defeat, but you must pay attention to the fact that you cannot choose the same opponent every round. I don't think there is much to say about this. No matter what you choose, you must choose someone who has not fought before. Also, if a martial artist above you challenges someone, you cannot challenge him again in this round. This is to make the battle fairer. Also, the avoidance rule is no longer effective. The top 10 martial artists can still challenge the top 10 martial artists. After each round, there will be a 5-minute break. It's very short, so I hope you can use it well. Lawless had explained the rules in detail. Other than the point system, there were not many changes, so it was not that complicated. However, the break time had been reduced. This was a test of a martial artist's recovery ability, stamina, internal force, and soul power. Only the martial artist with the best overall quality could get first place in the White Tiger meet. Any more questions? Lawless asked in the end. All right. Since there are no more questions, the battle will begin. Ling Xiao, choose your opponent. Lawless said to Ling Xiao. Regardless of whether Ling Xiao was deprived of the opportunity to enter the trial grounds, he was still the first-place winner of the treasure hunting battle. The first one to fight was naturally him. Ling Xiao slowly walked into the ring, looking a little dispirited. At this moment, except for a few good friends, almost everyone's eyes were fixed on him. Obviously, he was the only one who hadn't obtained any benefits from the trial grounds. If they didn't bully him, who else could they bully? Ling Xiao glanced at the crowd. Apart from his own people, the weakest person in the crowd was Jun Mo Qing of the Jingyi School. In any case, he had to challenge everyone this time, so there was no need to choose a strong opponent all at once. First, he would find someone he could defeat easily. Naturally, he would choose wisely. Jun Mo Qing, come up. Ling Xiao beckoned to Jun Mo and shouted in a soft voice, "Although I wasn't your match before, after receiving the help of the Black Tortoise Divine Palace, my cultivation and strength have improved. Now that I'm fighting you, I still have a 60% chance of winning." Jun Mo Qing didn't intend to admit defeat. If Ling Xiao's strength had also improved, he might have admitted defeat directly because he knew that he was no match for Ling Xiao. If he still challenged him, he would only consume his combat strength in vain. 5 minutes of rest was simply not enough. But now he felt that he might be able to defeat Ling Xiao. "Since you're so confident, come up." Ling Xiao smiled slightly. Whoosh! Jun Mo Qing jumped into the ring and released a sharp sword chi in an instant. It was indeed stronger than before. My goodness, he was only taken away by the divine envoy for 10 days, but his strength has improved so much. Oh, I really envy these people. They actually have the opportunity to join the Black Tortoise Divine Palace. Why am I not so lucky? That's right, we're really unlucky. In the crowd, who knew how many people were sighing endlessly and sighing with emotion. You can't say that. Look at Ling Xiao, he hasn't changed at all. I guess it still depends on one's talent and comprehension. Some people also raised a different opinion. Stop arguing. Watch the battle or listen to your nonsense. A cultivator stronger than them roared, and the two of them immediately shut their mouths. On the stage, Ling Xiao didn't make a move immediately. He looked at Jun Mo Qing indifferently and said, "For your own sake, give up the battle. I don't know how to control my strength. If this punch lands, you probably won't be able to recover in the next round." Hearing this, the crowd was shocked. This Ling Xiao didn't obtain anything and his strength didn't improve. Yet he was still so arrogant. Jun Mo Qing's strength wasn't weak to begin with. Now that he had the help of the Black Tortoise Divine Palace, his strength had greatly improved. He still dared to say that? Bluff. Jun Mo Qing's sword was already accumulating power. The terrifying sword chi seemed to be venting his dissatisfaction and anger, becoming even more terrifying. You're really a dog, biting Lu Rinxian. You don't know how to appreciate my kindness. I've already advised you, but you didn't listen. Don't blame me for being merciless next. Ling Xiao wouldn't go so far as to kill Jun Mo Qing, but he would definitely injure him severely, because he didn't want to fight so many boring battles. If the gap between their strengths was too big, he hoped that the other party would admit defeat directly. Since I've already drawn my sword, I won't regret it. Jun Mo Qing was a swordsman just like Ling Xiao. The moment he drew his sword, there was no way out. A swordsman must be fearless, otherwise his sword would no longer be sharp. All right, let's fight. Make your move. Ling Xiao stood there, looking at Jun Mo Qing indifferently. You're looking down on people too much. Jun Mo Qing roared, pointing his sword at Ling Xiao. His figure flickered and appeared in front of Ling Xiao in an instant. However, when the tip of his sword was only a foot away from Ling Xiao, he suddenly stopped. He saw a mirror. A mirror appeared behind Ling Xiao. Everyone saw it, but only Jun Mo Qing saw the scene in the mirror. If he stabbed his sword, the person who would be beheaded would be him. The scene was so clear, so shocking, and made him feel incomparable fear. What's going on? The audience was confused. What the hell was Ling Xiao doing by taking out a mirror all of a sudden? What was Jun Mo Qing doing? Why didn't he stab his sword down? Whoosh! People were surprised to find that Jun Mo Qing had returned to his original position. His forehead was dripping with sweat, and the sword in his hand was shaking. The sword chi had already withered. Chapter 1959. Is that real? Jun Mo Qing swallowed his saliva and asked in fear. He didn't want to be frightened by the illusion. Of course it's real. What you see is what's going to happen. If you don't believe me, you can try. Ling Xiao said with a smile. I admit defeat. Jun Mo Qing lowered his head and thought for a moment before he sighed and said, Admit defeat? This time the crowd was in an uproar. They didn't know why Jun Mo Qing admitted defeat. It was baffling. Only Jun Mo Qing knew how wise his decision was. Not fighting could save his life and preserve his fighting strength. If he had really stabbed his sword, he believed that even if he didn't die, he would have been seriously injured. Then he wouldn't have to fight anymore and would just go home. That mirror was a little strange. The Tian Hai King said with a frown, That's right. That mirror seemed to be a martial spirit, but I've never seen it before. The Queen of Qingqiu said with a frown. They were confused, but Xianming, who was sitting in the main judge's seat, was shocked. Demonic mirror martial spirit. It's the demonic mirror martial spirit. He really did come in contact with that woman. Damn it. Xian Ming felt uneasy. He didn't know how much Ling Xiao had gotten from that woman, but he was sure that Ling Xiao hadn't wasted his time in the imperial prison. He had gotten something better. Just like Xian Ming, Nine Heavens Du was also shocked. She also recognized that the demonic mirror martial spirit was the old palace master's martial spirit. In this world, some martial spirits were unique. For example, the 9 great immemorial divine dragon spirits and the 12 human immortal martial spirits. The same went for the demonic mirror martial spirit. Others couldn't have it, unless the person with the demonic mirror martial spirit gave it away or it was stolen. What's going on? I'll find out. Nine Heavens Du thought to herself. The audience was very disappointed with this battle. Most of them even thought that Jun Mo Qing and Ling Xiao had some sort of private agreement, which was why they stopped the battle. Let's move on to the next battle. This battle is really boring. The audience began to shout. In the second battle, Cold Plum stepped on the ring. When she was about to choose her opponent, she saw Hong Yue waving at her. Big sister Cold Plum, pick me. I'll probably lose anyway if I fight someone else. Why don't I just give you these 3 points and let you have a good rest in the first round? Hong Yu said through her soul. After all, the king ranking tournament was different from the previous battles. Hong Yue knew that she was not as good as Cold Plum, so she wanted to help Cold Plum achieve a better ranking. When facing an enemy, she would fight to the death and only admit defeat when she really couldn't win. When facing her friends, if she really couldn't beat them, she might as well surrender. In any case, she and Blue Snow were still young. They still had a chance. Blue Snow thought the same. Although this girl was very cold, she was very clear that she was only given the revival rounds slot as a sparring partner. Compared to the 10 martialists who had gone through the trial, there was simply no comparison. The only thing they could do was help Ling Xiao, Lung Mei, and Long Qin, who had the most hope. Actually, they had already told Ling Xiao about this in secret, but Ling Xiao said that he didn't need the chance since he could give it to someone else. In the end, Cold Plum chose Cold Moon. This battle was won without a fight. What the hell? Are they still going to fight or not? Why are they all admitting defeat? To the contestants, there was nothing wrong with such a choice, but to the audience, it was a little unpleasant. But even if they didn't like it, there was nothing they could do. As a result, Ling Xiao and Cold Plum each got 3 points, while Jun Moqing and Hong Yue got 0. For the third battle, Feng Fei chose Blue Snow and won easily. It was obvious that she didn't want Long Qin to take advantage of her. Blue Snow wanted to hurt Feng Fei, but the difference between them was too great. In the end, she had no choice but to admit defeat and get injured. But it didn't matter. After leaving the stage, Ling Xiao gave her a pill to treat her injuries. In this place, even Pill King Sun Tzu's pills couldn't compare to Ling Xiao's. Thus, as long as Ling Xiao's friends didn't die, it didn't matter even if they were injured. For the fourth battle, Tian Hai Tyranny learned from Feng Fei and chose Dan Feng. But Dan Feng gave up. Preserving his strength was the key. Dan Feng didn't want to get into the top 10. His thinking was simple. Getting a decent ranking out of the 19 was enough. For the fifth battle, Lei Lai chose Jun Macho, who also admitted defeat. There would probably be plenty of people who admitted defeat in the first few rounds. It was only after the weaker ones had been selected that the next part would be the most important. For the sixth battle, Mu Wanshuang glanced at Sun Lung Chan with a smile. Instead of choosing, she looked towards Lei Tun. "You're the one." Lei Tun was furious. Someone had chosen him so soon? Did they think he was easy to bully? "Little girl, your choice is too stupid. The winner will definitely be me." Lei Tun had boasted in front of the Tiger King that he would take second place in the white tiger meet. Naturally, he couldn't avoid the battle. Besides Lei Lai, he had to defeat everyone else. His heavy body, landed on the stage with a rumbling sound. "Do you know why I chose you?" Mu Wanchuang suddenly asked with a smile. "Is it because of that Ling Xiao?" Lei Tun asked. "You guessed right. My master, Fan Rohai, wants me to help him get rid of you." Mu Wanchuang grinned. "Damned Ling Xiao, it's that guy again." Lei Tun didn't know whether to feel regret or anger. In any case, he was in a bad mood. He thought Ling Xiao was a soft persimmon that could be easily bullied, so he bullied him a little. Now, there was a grudge between them. "Kill!" The furious Lei Tun roared as he pounced towards Mu Wanchuang. He didn't believe that he would lose to a little girl. Although many people thought that Mu Wanchuang was very powerful, he didn't believe it. His body rolled out like a ball. When he was about a meter away from Mu Wanchuang, he suddenly opened his mouth and turned into a tiger's head. He bit towards Mu Wanchuang. "I really hate this boring way of fighting." Mu Wanchuang frowned slightly. Then her body flashed. Somehow, she was already in front of Lei Tun. Her hands formed into palms and gently patted Lei Tun's body. Lei Tun was directly sent flying. At the last moment, Lei Tun tried to avoid Mu Wanchuang's fatal blow. However, luck didn't seem to favor him. Mu Wanchuang's seemingly gentle palm technique exploded with amazing power. When Lei Tun fell off the stage, he had already lost his breath. Mu Wanchuang is so powerful, but she's also ruthless. Lei Tun shouldn't have any enmity with her. Why did she kill him directly? Chapter 1960. Everyone had been waiting for an exciting battle, but in just one move, the victor was decided between the two. The only thing they could tell was that Mu Wanchuang was very strong. They could not tell anything else. The 13 top geniuses really need to be re-ranked. The white tiger meet is an opportunity. Yeah, the new can't come if the old don't go. The warriors who had been paying attention to the meet knew very well that some of the 13 top geniuses performed well, while others were mediocre. Wu Long, the crown princess, Fairy Qingqiu, and Lei Meng had all been killed. Now Lei Tun was also killed. It was a pity that 5 of the 13 top geniuses were gone, leaving only 8. It seemed like the only ones who could determine the rankings were the 10 warriors who had participated in the trials. The others were just foils. In the 7th match, Long Qin chose Sun Lingchan, who immediately admitted defeat. This made Sun Lingchan feel very helpless. She was originally stronger than Long Qin. However, after these 10 days, she suddenly discovered that Long Qin's growth was truly too shocking. If they had to fight, it would probably be a very miserable battle, but within 100 moves, the outcome would definitely be decided. Therefore, she directly let Long Qin challenge her and then admitted defeat. It was also considered a contribution. In the 8th match, Zui Linglong chose the Silver Wolf Princess. This was a battle between women. The Silver Wolf Princess naturally would not admit defeat, but she was ultimately defeated and was knocked out of the arena. In the 9th match, Xiao Budian chose the Heavenly Wolf Prince between Qingqiu Lihua and the Heavenly Wolf Prince. The Heavenly Wolf Prince lost in the end. Previously, his strength was on par with Xiao Budian, but he entered the 10th trial ground, while Xiao Budian entered the 9th. There was still a gap between them. Don't be discouraged. Just understand why you lost. The Heavenly Wolf sect master seemed to be more open-minded and was not that strict with his disciples. This reduced the pressure on the Heavenly Wolf Prince and the Silver Wolf Princess, but it did not make them feel good. They really did not want to lose so badly again. In the first round, Qingqiu Lihua was very lucky to have a bye. In fact, not choosing her was also a form of strength. It meant that she was strong enough. In the 2nd round, Ling Xiao chose Hongyu. In any case, even if he didn't choose, others would. He might as well choose his own people and keep the goodies within the family. Hong Yuan naturally took the initiative to give up. Ling Xiao had won 2 matches in a row, but he hadn't fought at all. Cold Plum chose Blue Snow, but Blue Snow still admitted defeat. Feng Fei set his sights on Dan Feng, who avoided the fight. Tyranny Heavenly Seas chose Jun Maching. Jun Maching, very wisely, didn't even go on stage. Lei Lai chose the Silver Wolf Princess. The Silver Wolf Princess had yet to recover from her injuries and was no match for Lei Lai, so she admitted defeat. This scene really made the audience below the stage dumbfounded. What the hell was this? All of them had admitted defeat. What was there to watch? However, the people of the Black Tortoise Temple did not care about this. They did not desire the audience to watch. This was a selection of disciples, not a performance. They needed to be able to rationally measure their own strength and make a choice. This was one of the qualities of a warrior. Mu Wanchuang chose Sir Heavenly Wolf for this round. Naturally, he refused to admit defeat. As one of the top 13 geniuses, he had his own pride. Everyone also thought that this would be a very fierce battle, but the final result left them gaping. One move. Mu Wanchuang had defeated Sir Heavenly Wolf with just one move. Although he was injured, the ease with which she defeated him was enough to show how terrifying Mu Wanchuang was. I think the rankings are already out. Feng Fei, Tyranny Heavenly Seas, Lei Lai, and Mu Wanchuang will probably be fighting for the top 4 spots. The rest will have to wait. That's right, that should be the case. This Mu Wanchuang is the true dark horse. She's simply terrifying. Last round, she killed Lei Tun, and this round, she defeated Sir Heavenly Wolf. How terrifying! Tiger King's expression wavered. He turned to the White Tiger Empire State Advisor and asked, "Just who is that woman?" "I've investigated. She's the servant girl of the Fan clan's eldest son, Fan Rohai." The State Advisor replied, "Servant girl? Humph. Does she take your lordship for a fool? That woman is insidious and strong. I'm afraid she won't lose to Fan Rohai. Is she really willing to be his servant girl? Why didn't I discover such a person before?" Tiger King said coldly, "Investigate again. Find out who that woman is. If she dared to kill Lei Tun, she must have a powerful backer. That Fan clan doesn't have the qualifications." Yes, when it was Long Chen's turn, he didn't have many choices. Drunken Linglong, Xiao Budian, Qingqiu Lihua, and Jun Macho. Although Sun Lingchan hadn't fought yet, Long Qin had already fought her in the last round. Naturally, he couldn't choose her this round. In the end, he chose Jun Macho. Jun Macho didn't avoid the fight. It was a brilliant battle, but Long Qin still won. After the trials of the training grounds, not only had his cultivation improved, but his grasp of the Battle Dragon King's legacy had improved as well. Coupled with the continuous release of the potential of the Dragon Clan, he defeated Jun Macho in only 10 moves. "I've lost. I didn't expect your growth to be no slower than Ling Xiao." Jun Macho sighed helplessly when he admitted defeat. "You're wrong. I'm wrong. Yes, Big Brother's growth is beyond your imagination. I used to think of using my dragon talent to surpass Big Brother, but now I've completely given up. He will definitely surprise all of you." Long Qin smiled and turned around to leave the arena. In the 8th battle, Drunken Linglong looked at the others and finally looked at Qingqiu Lihua and said, "I'll choose you. Anyway, it's inevitable that we'll fight. I want to know what you got from the first trial ground." "You'll regret it." Qingqiu Lihua sneered and jumped onto the arena. "If it was before, I wouldn't have the confidence to win against you. But now you're no match for me. You'll know once you try." Drunken Linglong still had an indifferent expression, as if nothing could move her. Begin. The battle between these 2 female heroes was exceptionally brilliant. Drunken Linglong's sole secret techniques were intertwined with each other. Qingqiu Lihua wasn't weak to begin with. After the trials of the first trial ground, her strength had skyrocketed, but it was obvious that she hadn't fully mastered the new energy. When the battle reached 300 moves, Lawless announced a draw. Both of them had 1 point each. Black Tortoise Temple giving you the first trial ground is really a waste. Mediocre will always be mediocre. If Ling Xiao had gotten the first trial ground, I wouldn't have been his match. For some reason, drunken Linglong had been protective of Ling Xiao from the beginning. This was something that many people, including Ling Xiao, could see, but they couldn't figure it out. Chapter 1961. It's just that I haven't completely mastered what I got. It's a pity that we can't fight again. Otherwise, I'll definitely defeat you next time. Qingqiu Lihua snorted coldly, and the two of them left the arena at the same time. The last battle of the second round was between Xiao Budian and Sun Lingchan. This made him feel very bored. Why is there only a piece of trash like you left? I wanted to exercise my fists and legs, but I didn't fight well in the last round. Xiao Budian looked at Sun Lingchan as if he thought that Sun Lingchan would definitely choose to forfeit. In this way, his idea of torturing Sun Lingchan in front of Ling Xiao could not be realized. He hated the rule of forfeiting. It was really boring. Referee, can we start the third round? Xiao Budian looked at the referee's table and said anxiously, since he could not torture Ling Xiao's friend, he might as well torture Ling Xiao. He believed that with Ling Xiao's personality, he would definitely not admit defeat. In this way, he would have enough opportunities to teach this guy a lesson. He would not kill him first, but torture him well. However, at this moment, a sudden chill came. Xiao Budian was stunned for a moment, and his reaction was a little late. In the end, his right arm was pricked by an embroidery needle, and he could feel a numbing sensation spread throughout his body. F***CK. I was ambushed. He stared blankly at Sun Lingchan, who retreated immediately after the attack. He did not expect that this woman would dare to come up to the arena. He hurriedly channeled his inner energy, trying to force the poison out of his right arm. It's useless. The poison I used is still combined with the blood. Unless you take the antidote, it's impossible to force it out of your body. You've paid the price for your carelessness and arrogance. Next, you can wait for your consciousness to slowly disappear. Sun Lingchan looked at Xiao Budian coldly. She admitted defeat to Longqin because she did not want both of them to suffer. If they had to fight to the death, she might not lose, and both of them might be seriously injured. Because they were friends, she did not want that. She believed that Ling Xiao would compensate her. However, now, facing Xiao Budian, she could not admit defeat. Xiao Budian was not as strong as Mu Wanchuang. As long as he was careful, even if he lost, he would still be able to injure Xiao Budian. What she did not expect was that the idiot Xiao Budian actually ignored her, giving her the perfect opportunity to launch a sneak attack. According to the rules, as long as one stepped onto the stage, they would be in a state of battle. Whether it was sneak attacks or other methods, they could all be used. You think I'm not as good as Mu Wanchuang? You don't want to admit defeat? The little guy's face was gloomy. On one hand, it was because he was poisoned, and on the other hand, it was because he felt humiliated. This woman, who had been defeated by Mu Wanchuang in one move, actually dared to challenge him? Didn't this mean that he couldn't even compare to a woman who wasn't considered a top genius? It was a great humiliation. Mu Wanchuang did not answer him. After confirming that her opponent had been poisoned, she launched another attack. The silver needles that filled the sky shot towards Xiao Budian like a rainstorm. Every bit of cold light revealed an astonishing power, causing the audience below the stage to feel a chill run down their spines. Bastard! How dare you not listen to me? Do you really think that a mere poison can do anything to me? To tell you the truth, meeting me was your biggest mistake. Xiao Budian flew into a rage out of humiliation. He suddenly exploded, and a gust of black wind attacked. In an instant, Sun Lingchan and those silver needles were all wrapped up. Seeing this scene, Sun Lingchan frowned. Her opponent was clearly paralyzed. How could he still use the Black Wind King's inheritance? Could it be that he had already been detoxified? She did not notice, but Ling Xiao below the stage had already seen some clues. Ling Xiao's Tai Chi eye had successfully captured a little bug crawling out of Xiao Budian's right arm. This little bug was pitch black all over. Obviously, it had absorbed a large amount of poison. It fell to the ground and turned into a puddle of pus. With a gust of black wind, it completely disappeared. Could it be him? Ling Xiao suddenly thought of someone. He had never understood why Xiao Budian would have such a great hatred for him. Now that he saw this scene, he suddenly seemed to understand. Your strength doesn't seem to be as strong as you boast. Even if you have a way to detoxify the poison, can you detoxify it a second time? You're underestimating me, Sun Lingchan. Facing the black wind, Sun Lingchan did not retreat. Instead, she advanced. Her violent energy directly faced the black wind. Rumble! A terrifying loud sound rang out in the arena. The black wind and the silver needles disappeared almost at the same time. It caused everyone to take a step back. Both of them seemed to be safe and sound. You don't dare to use your full strength for the next battle, but I don't care. In this battle, the one who will lose will be you, unless you fight me with your full strength. Sun Lingchan looked at Xiao Budian coldly. She had already used 90% of her strength, but Xiao Budian had only used 50%. Now that they were tied, it was obvious that she was not as good as her opponent. However, she already knew this. She wanted to force Xiao Budian to use more of his strength. This way, the consumption would be even greater. Sun Lingchan was using herself as a consumable to purposely exhaust Xiao Budian. She had put a lot of thought into this. I can still kill you with 50% of my strength. Xiao Budian said sinisterly, Be careful. If you say that, you'll slap your own face. Sun Lingchan looked at Xiao Budian coldly. If her opponent only used 50% of his strength, then she was confident that she could defeat him without any problems. I'll only slap your face. Today, I'll use 50% of my strength to send you on your way in front of Ling Xiao. Xiao Budian said coldly. Then a mountain giant appeared behind his back. Its entire body was made of stones, and it looked like a huge mountain. Stone King's inheritance, meteorite, divine fist. As soon as he said that, the huge shadow behind Xiao Budian swayed and looked down at Sun Lingchan. The terrifying, huge fist smashed down fiercely. The size of the arena was the size of the fist. The terrifying fist wind completely enveloped the entire arena. No matter how fast Sun Lingchan was, it was useless. Xiao Budian indeed used 50% of his strength because he felt that 50% of his strength was enough to deal with Sun Lingchan. He did not want to expose his full strength too early. Otherwise, the following battle would be very difficult. What a powerful aura! Do you think that you're the only one who obtained the Stone King's inheritance memories? Sun Lingchan sneered. Her entire body's strength exploded, and a shadow appeared behind her. This shadow was also a mountain giant, but it was slightly different from Xiao Budian's. Xiao Budian's mountain giant was made of bare rocks. Sun Lingchan's mountain giant was covered with a thick layer of vegetation. On top of these vegetation, there seemed to be some kind of special smell. Rumble! The two mountain giants confronted each other. This made the audience go wild with joy. After experiencing too many boring battles where they admitted defeat, Sun Lingchan really gave them a surprise. Chapter 1962. Originally, everyone thought that Sun Lingchan would choose to admit defeat in this round. They did not expect her to accept the challenge. Moreover, she did not seem like she was going to admit defeat. Your cultivation is only at the 17th level of the Yin-Yang realm, while I am at the 18th level of the Yin-Yang realm. Can't you see the difference between us? We have the same inheritance. Naturally, mine is more powerful. Xiao Budian snorted and activated his Yin-Yang Yuan force. His fist danced and condensed into a real meteorite divine fist in midair. Cultivation is not everything. You have learned too many things. How can your understanding of the Stone King's inheritance be comparable to mine? Sun Lingchan did not show any weakness, and similarly threw out a punch. Rumble! The entire Thunder City seemed to be shaking as the fists of the two mountain giants collided. It was another evenly matched collision. However, the scene was obviously more shocking than the previous one. I don't believe it. Xiao Budian's fists blasted out like raindrops. Sun Lingchan was not afraid at all and used the same method to fight back. The audience watched the battle with their mouths agape. On the stage, rumbling sounds continued as if there was continuous thunder. Debris flew everywhere, and energy danced chaotically. I think that Xiao Budian is simply spinning a cocoon around himself, using 50% of his strength to fight against 90% of Sun Lingchan's strength is too disadvantageous. This guy is too arrogant. If he used a bit more strength, Sun Lingchan would be defeated. That's right. It's really hard to get off now. I reckon that he won't be able to hold back and will use at least 60% of his strength. Otherwise, he won't be able to win against Sun Lingchan. The audience was very excited. Such an exciting and intense battle had never happened before. This caused their originally unhappy mood to gradually improve. Suffering because of his pride. This is exactly what Xiao Budian is talking about. Ling Xiao felt lucky for Sun Lingchan to meet such an idiot. Otherwise, the battle would have ended. After exchanging dozens of blows, Sun Lingchan's eyes revealed a smug smile. She could have used 90% of her strength to suppress Xiao Budian's 50%, but she did not do so. She purposely created a situation where they were evenly matched so that Xiao Budian would underestimate his opponent. It's over. You've lost the battle. Suddenly, countless vines and roots extended from Sun Lingchan's mountain giant's body, tightly binding Xiao Budian and his mountain giant. Besides the inheritance of the Boulder King, I also have my own martial soul. Crack! Following Sun Lingchan's instantaneous eruption of terrifying power, the strange pink liquid passed through the plants and entered Xiao Budian's body. The little guy's expression greatly changed. He tried to struggle free, but he was completely unable to do so. You cheated. Only now did Xiao Budian completely understand that he had been tricked by Sun Lingchan. I'll kill you. How could he, who was furious, be defeated by a woman who was inferior to him? At this moment, he was so angry that he almost lost his mind. 90% of his combat strength erupted from his body. Rumble. The entire arena became quiet. Whether it was the vines, the roots, or the mountain giant, they all disappeared. The little guy had exposed his true strength. Behind him, a gigantic bug hive appeared. Countless terrifying insects crawled out of the hive and surrounded Sun Lingchan. I'll kill you. I'll definitely kill you. You overconfident woman. Uft. As he spoke, he actually spat out a mouthful of pink blood. Kill me? You'd better think about how to detoxify the poison in your body first. The poison that was injected into your body was 100 times stronger than before. You were able to detoxify it earlier, but now what can you do? Sun Lingchan was truly a terrifying opponent. If possible, Ling Xiao really did not like to fight with this kind of person. People who knew how to use poison were simply everywhere. Ah! Xiao Budian screamed in pain. His body, which was originally the size of an 8-year-old child, began to distort and deform. In the end, it actually tore apart. From the child's body, a bug that was at least 70 to 80 centimeters long drilled out. It's really you. When Ling Xiao saw this worm, he understood. He completely understood. Xiao Budian was actually the 100 Insects Demon King. The 100 Insects Demon King that was once scared away by the immemorial Golden Crow's battle intent in the divine Phoenix continent. However, this 100 Insects Demon King seemed to be different from before. Her strength was obviously stronger than before. Moreover, her appearance had also become uglier. Previously, she was still in human form. Now, she had completely turned into a bug. A completely nameless bug that seemed to be a combination of scorpion, centipede, and other 5 poisons. Too ugly. Many martial artists at the scene directly vomited when they saw this guy's ugly appearance. Kill. The strange bug flapped its thin cicada wings and charged toward Sun Lingchan. From the moment she abandoned Xiao Budian's body, her poison had been completely detoxified. I admit defeat. Sun Lingchan's goal was to force Xiao Budian to reveal his true strength. Although the current situation surprised her, she still achieved her goal. Admit defeat? It's not that easy. Today you must die. You've already pissed me off. A strange voice came from the bug's mouth as it frantically chased after Sun Lingchan. How could the 100 Insects Demon King let Sun Lingchan admit defeat so easily? She injured him, made him reveal his true identity, and still wanted to escape unscathed? She was simply dreaming. He must swallow this woman and turn her into his own nourishment. Only then could he vent the hatred in his heart. Referee. Ling Xiao looked at Lawless. According to the rules, as long as the opponent admitted defeat, they must stop the battle. So, it was obvious that the 100 Insects Demon King had violated the rules. As Lawless was about to say something, Xianming suddenly said, "Our Battle of the Kings is based on the reality of the mystical world. When have you ever seen a battle reach the climax? When you hurt your opponent and want to admit defeat, do you think the others will agree? Don't you think it's shameless?" On the stage, Sun Lingchan was frantically dodging, but she was still injured by the 100 Insects Demon King. She wanted to jump off the stage, but she was directly forced back by the opponent. Obviously, the 100 Insects Demon King wanted her dead. However, at this moment, the mysterious underworld being had actually disregarded the rules and uttered some high-sounding nonsense. "Ha ha ha, I'll see who can save you. Die, go die!" As if encouraged by Xianming, the 100 Insects Demon King became even crazier. Sun Lingchan sighed. Under the threat of Xianming, no one would dare to save her. If she died, then so be it. Her skills were inferior, and the rules didn't protect her. What could she do? Die what? Did I say I'd let you die? Suddenly, a voice rang in Sun Lingchan's ears. People were shocked to see a figure jump onto the stage. They didn't even see who it was. They only saw a terrifying sword light shining on the stage, and then the 100 Insects Demon King's body was violently pushed back. Chapter 1963. In the arena, the sword's light was too dazzling, like a bloody sun in the sky. What's going on? Who interfered? The crowd looked at the arena in surprise. Under the light of the bloody sun, a tall and young figure was like a god. "Get out of my way!" The furious 100 Insects Demon King did not see who interfered at all. At this time, he only wanted to kill Sun Lingchan. The terrifying scorpion tail stabbed toward Sun Lingchan. As for the man in front of Sun Lingchan, he intended to kill him as well. However, the light of the bloody sun became even more dazzling, and a blood-red sword light pierced through the air. At that moment, the 100 Insects Demon King felt frightened, as if his body was going to be pierced directly. Surprised, he hurriedly dodged. The blood-red sword light pierced the scorpion's tail directly. Blue blood spurted out from the tail. "Ah!" A shrill scream came from the strange face. The 100 Insects Demon King retreated to the edge of the arena in horror. That man did not pursue him. The light of the bloody sun finally dimmed a little, and the crowd had time to see clearly who the warrior who interfered was. Black clothes as black as ink, black hair draped over his shoulders, and the blood-red long sword in his hand was very conspicuous. His eyes revealed a domineering and indifferent look. His whole body was full of murderous intent. "Ling Xiao!" It's Ling Xiao indeed. Is this guy crazy? How dare he interfere in other people's fight? Is he going to give up his qualification? The crowd finally saw the man's identity clearly. It was Ling Xiao, the Ling Xiao whom they looked down upon. This guy's swordsmanship was so terrifying. Despite the 100 insects Demon King's terrifying strength, its tail was still pierced through by the sword. Even now, blue blood was still flowing out. Is his swordsmanship that strong? His strength did not improve, did it? Could it be that he was originally so terrifying? This accident made the crowd realize the terror of the sword in Ling Xiao's hand. This guy was simply amazing. The elegance of his sword was like a real sword demon. His cultivation shouldn't have increased. Could it be that he can defeat Xiao Budian, who is at the 18th level of Yin Yang realm, when he's at the 15th level of Yin Yang realm? The audience did not know the identity of the 100 Insects Demon King, and only thought that this was the real body of the little guy. The 100 Insects Demon King stared fixedly at Ling Xiao. He found it somewhat inconceivable that he had been injured by this guy last time. Now that his strength had increased greatly, he had absorbed a large amount of energy through improper means and forcefully recovered his cultivation to the 18th level of Yin Yang realm. How did he get injured by this guy again? Shameless. This is a battle between Sun Lingchan and I. How dare you sneak attack me? The 100 Insects Demon King could only believe that his injuries were due to Ling Xiao's sneak attack and not because he was too weak. Ling Xiao, you've broken the rules. Could it be that you don't wish to participate in the White Tiger Storm meet this time? Xianming said coldly. Shut up. Ling Xiao suddenly looked at Xianming, who was at the judges' table. He didn't give the other party any face. He actually asked the sect master of the mysterious underworld sect to shut up? This guy must be crazy. Didn't he know that the sect master of the Xianming sect could kill him with a single finger? Old dog Xianming, I've had enough. You shameless old dog in the Black Tortoise Divine Palace. You deprived me of the opportunity to enter the first trial ground for no reason, and even locked me up in the heavenly prison. Fortunately, I profited from this disaster and obtained the help of an expert. Otherwise, I'm afraid that I would have become a cripple. Just now, you said that in the mystic world, if you injure your opponent when you admit defeat, your opponent won't stop, so you can ignore the rules. Let me tell you, in the mystic world, if my friend is injured, I can't stand by and do nothing. I can also ignore the rules. Have you forgotten the fart you just spouted? Ling Xiao was naturally afraid of Xianming. However, he and Xianming were already mortal enemies. Even if he did not say these words, Xianming would still kill him. Even if he said that, he would still kill him. Therefore, he might as well use this opportunity to vent his anger and attack this old dog. He wanted to make this guy lose face in front of everyone. Didn't you boast about being fair? Didn't you say that the Black Tortoise Divine Palace was absolutely fair? Then, I'll let the world see your true face. Your words are worse than a fart. Are you worthy to be the ruler of the White Tiger Continent? Besides cultivation, what else do you have? Ling Xiao questioned loudly. Impudent. Xianming was really annoyed. No one had ever dared to question him like this in front of so many people. What? You want to kill me? Are you angry out of humiliation? Ling Xiao sneered and said, You can do it. However, I can guarantee that before you kill me, I will make your Black Tortoise Divine Palace suffer heavy losses and even make it disappear from this world. Everyone looked at Xianming. They looked at Ling Xiao. Although they felt that Ling Xiao was seeking death, if what Ling Xiao said was true, then the Black Tortoise Divine Palace was really too shameless. What they did was simply inhumane. Aren't you holding a hostage in your hand? If I kill you, do you dare to kill him? Xianming started to fight. A terrifying murderous aura filled the entire thunder-shocking city. Many people felt his anger and strong, murderous intent. You can try. Ling Xiao sneered and said, I've already investigated. That Xianfeng is the son of the Deep Earth Sect's sect master. Although he's just a waste abandoned by his father. Even if he's a waste, what do you think will happen if you kill him? Moreover, I don't only have a hostage in my hand. I have other things. If you want to play, I can play with you. It's just my cheap life. Do you dare to exchange it with me? Xian Ming's face was gloomy to the extreme, but he couldn't do anything. He had sent several groups of people to try to save Xianfeng. However, each time those people were killed. The demon wine sword was really strong. Even if he had the confidence to kill that guy, it would definitely take a lot of effort. What should he do? He was the dignified sect master of the Black Tortoise Temple. How could he lower his head and admit his mistake in front of a small cultivator? Enough, Ling Xiao. The reason why I deprived you of your trial qualification has nothing to do with sect master Xianming. It was my idea. You dared to kill so many of my temple's divine guards. I couldn't stand it, so I took away your chance. At this time, Venerable Magic Cube stood up. Clearly, he was here to block the spear for Xianming. Are you worthy? How can you take out a treasure like the heavenly fate? Old dog Xianming, you're really a coward. You don't even dare to admit what you've done. You want your subordinate to admit it for you. Shameless, Ling Xiao said sarcastically. He was really going all out today. If Xianming didn't care about the rules and insisted on messing with him, then even if he participated in the White Tiger Storm gathering, it would be meaningless. He might as well make a big scene and let no one get first place in the White Tiger Storm gathering. If he couldn't get it, no one else could. If this competition was fair, he wouldn't be like this. But if it was unfair, what was the point of it? Chapter 1964. Brat, so what if it's the truth? The Black Tortoise Temple is in charge of the White Tiger Gathering. I am the rule. Xianming couldn't explain what he had done because he knew that Ling Xiao must have made sufficient preparations. If he wanted to evade, Ling Xiao would definitely take out the evidence. That would be even more embarrassing for him. Hence, he might as well admit it. So what if he admitted it? Here, no one would dare to say anything to him because he, Xianming, was the strongest. You've finally said it. You don't even need to put on a fake mask anymore. Ling Xiao asked indifferently. So what if I say it? I can kill you. What can you do to me? Xianming was completely shameless. He didn't want to lose face because of Xianfeng. As long as he killed Ling Xiao, he would go on the run. He definitely couldn't let Ling Xiao manipulate him. Moreover, he didn't think that Ling Xiao would kill Xianfeng. As the only hostage in his hand, if Ling Xiao killed Xianfeng now, he would have no one to rely on. Brat, just die obediently. This world doesn't need a trash like you who overestimates himself. Xianming finally made his move. Under everyone's watchful eyes, he actually made his move. The Nine Heavens dictum is here. People of the Nine Heavens Palace, quickly come and save me. Seeing Xianming pouncing towards him, Ling Xiao made 3 choices almost at the same time. First, show the Nine Heavens dictum. This was obtained from the old palace master of the Nine Heavens Palace. According to the rules of the Nine Heavens Palace, seeing the Nine Heavens dictum was equivalent to seeing the palace master in person. Second, release the teleportation formation that he had prepared beforehand. This was something he discovered after participating in the Purgatory Blood Battle and the Myriad Demons graveyard using the teleportation formation of the Black Tortoise Temple. Third, signal the Demon Liquor Sword and Hong Qi to bring his friends and leave. If the Nine Heavens dictum didn't work, then the second and third options would be activated. This was just in case. Fortunately, the what-if didn't happen. The Nine Heavens arrived in front of him in an instant, and his palms collided with Xianming's fists. The two of them actually fought to a draw. Brat, I don't care who you are. Since you have the Nine Heavens dictum, I will save you this time. However, you must explain everything to me after this. Nine Heavens transmitted her voice. Don't worry, Senior. You will know everything you want to know. Ling Xiao replied, All right, then, I'll take you away. The Nine Heavens Du was obviously unwilling to fight with Xianming for a long time. After forcing Xianming to retreat, it wanted to take Ling Xiao away. You want to leave? It's not that easy. Everyone in the Black Tortoise Temple listened to my orders. Seal off all the exits from the Myriad Lightning Extreme Place. Don't let even a mosquito in. When Xianming saw the Nine Heavens Du make a move, he knew that the situation was getting out of hand. At the moment, all he wanted to do was deal with Ling Xiao and the Nine Heavens Du before Nine Sky Palace's power recovered. The venerables of the 13 palaces were all mobilized. 13 rebirth realm experts formed the White Tiger Continent's most terrifying line of defense. However, even with the Nine Heavens Du, it was impossible for it to escape with Ling Xiao. Who dares to disobey the Nine Heavens dictum? The Palace Master of Nine Sky Palace has arrived. Suddenly, there was a clear shout from afar. When the voice sounded, it was still far away. However, by the time the voice landed, the group had already arrived. The current Palace Master of Nine Sky Palace, Nine Heavens Dream, together with the 9 rebirth realm experts under her command, they had all arrived. The line of defense that was supposed to be impossible to break through was easily broken through. Surprise! Ling Xiao couldn't help but be stunned. He had already planned to use the secret chess piece he had left in the Black Tortoise Temple. However, he didn't expect the Palace Master of Nine Sky Palace, Nine Heavens Dream, to come and bring so many experts with her. Their combined strength wasn't inferior to the Black Tortoise Temple at all. In fact, they were even stronger. That's good too. I can keep that secret chess piece for future use. Ling Xiao nodded his head secretly and prepared to observe the development of the situation. Xianming, you're still as shameless as before. Back then, you schemed against our old palace master. Now, you want to use the same method to deal with our old palace master successor? Nine Heavens Dream walked over slowly, but no one dared to stop her. No one dared. Little Dream, why are you here? Xianming was very embarrassed. Obviously, after seeing this woman, he felt a little unnatural. You still have the face to call me that? If I hadn't listened to your flowery words back then and gave the old palace master the so-called sacred medicine you gave him, he wouldn't have been captured by you. I, Nine Heavens Dream, have sinned and will use my life to pay for it. However, you, Xianming, have sinned as well. How are you going to pay for it? Nine Heavens Dream asked coldly. Back then, she and Xianming were childhood sweethearts. She trusted Xianming very much. However, she didn't expect that Xianming would use her to harm the old palace master. Fortunately, the old palace master was magnanimous. Not only did he not blame her, he even allowed her to inherit the position of palace master. It had been 300 years. The moment she heard that the successor of the old palace master had appeared, she couldn't wait to come here. Child, don't be afraid. You're the disciple of the old palace master. You're a member of Nine Sky Palace. No one can touch you today. Nine Heavens Dream came to Ling Xiao's side. She gently grabbed Ling Xiao's hand and said very kindly. This made Ling Xiao feel a little awkward. He could barely be considered the successor of the old palace master, but he wasn't the real deal. Seeing this, the demon liquor sword and Hong Qi let out a long breath. It seemed that the situation had changed. The appearance of Nine Sky Palace had stopped the Black Tortoise Sacred Hall from acting recklessly. The Sky Sea King and the Green Hill Queen didn't look too good. The appearance of this powerful Nine Heavens Dream had made them lose all hope of revenge. What should they do? Hee, since the Nine Sky Palace Master is here, you're an honored guest. Why don't you give me a seat? You don't have to be so angry. I was just joking with the child. Xianming's attitude changed completely. It was hard to believe that he was the one who had just spoken. Was it really just a joke? Nine Heaven's Dream asked with a grin. Of course it was a joke. What are you all spacing out for? The white tiger meet will continue. The little guy broke the rules first. Ling Xiao didn't do anything wrong by saving Sun Lingchan. Xianming was like a man who'd lost his memories. He'd completely forgotten what he'd just said. The audience was completely confused. Still, they didn't care. As long as the white tiger meet could continue and they could watch the show, that was the most important thing. After all, they didn't want the meeting to be ruined just like that. Senior Nine Sky Palace Master, it's hard to avoid injuries and deaths in the arena battles. If he's killed in the arena, will you interfere too? Feng Fei suddenly asked. How could the successor of the old palace master be so useless? As long as it's within the rules, this palace won't interfere. But if anyone tries to make a move against him outside the rules, then don't blame this palace for being impolite. Chapter 1965. In truth, Zhu Qianming wasn't certain that Ling Xiao was the successor of the old palace head either. She could use the white tiger meat as a test. What she needed to do now was prevent Ling Xiao from being killed by Xianming. She didn't need to worry about anything else. All right, since the palace head has said so, then I can set my mind at ease. Feng Fei smiled and didn't say anything else. Actually, her question was what many others wanted to ask as well, because many geniuses wanted to kill Ling Xiao in the arena, including the 100 Insects Demon King, Xiao Budian, who had just been forced out of his original form by Sun Lingchan. Brat, your luck isn't bad to have such a strong person protecting you. But do you dare to fight me fair and square in the arena? Xiao Budian laughed coldly. Why wouldn't I dare? Killing you will be as easy as slaughtering a dog or a chicken. Ling Xiao said coldly. Fine, you said it yourself. I hope you can challenge me in the next round. Otherwise you, Ling Xiao, will forever be a piece of trash hiding behind a woman's back. The 100 Insects Demon King's body began to heal and gradually turn back into Xiao Budian. From the looks of it, that tiny body was just a shell of his. You don't need to provoke me. I won't bully others. You're already injured, so even if I beat you, you won't be convinced. Once you're healed, I'll fight you again. We'll have to fight sooner or later anyway, so I'll make sure you die convinced. Ling Xiao glanced at Xiao Budian. How could he, Ling Xiao, fear someone who only knew how to use unorthodox methods? Fine, you've got guts. Soon you'll know how foolish your decision was. Xiao Budian returned to his seat and began to heal himself. I'm sorry, Lingchan. I wasted your good intentions. When the break started, Ling Xiao apologized to Sun Lingchan. How can you say it's a waste? I believe you have your reasons for your choice. Sun Lingchan smiled. But it's a pity that I won't be able to participate in the next round. I'll leave this victory to you. No problem. Thus, in the third round, Ling Xiao chose Sun Lingchan, winning without a fight. Cold Plum chose Dan Feng and won without a fight. Long Chen fought with Jun Mo Qing and won by relying on his powerful defense. Xiao Budian was the only one worth paying attention to in this round. This guy seemed to have chosen to avoid the battle and admit defeat in order to fight against Ling Xiao. From the looks of it, he no longer intended to compete for first place in the White Tiger meet. As long as he could kill Ling Xiao, he would be satisfied. After all, Feng Fei, Tianhai Tyranny, and Lei Lai were all too strong. Although he was confident, he still couldn't see through their true strength. Therefore, he gave up on the first place. At the end of the third round, there were still 8 people with a perfect record. They were the top 8 in the treasure hunting battle. However, after this round, most of the weaklings had already made their choices. Following this, there would probably be fewer and fewer people who could maintain a perfect victory. When the fourth round began, Ling Xiao was about to make his choice when Xiao Budian suddenly said, I've already recovered. Do you dare to fight me? He looked like he'd recovered to his peak condition. It looked like all the poison in his body had been expelled and his injuries healed. This kind of recovery ability was truly astonishing. Xiao Budian had never considered the possibility that he wasn't Ling Xiao's match. Ling Xiao was only at the 15th level of the Yinyang realm, while he was at the 18th level. There was a difference of 3 levels between them. He didn't believe that Ling Xiao was his match at all. Moreover, ever since his last encounter with Ling Xiao, he'd been researching ways to deal with the primordial golden crow and immemorial celestial devil's battle intent. Now, he didn't fear these 2 types of battle intent at all. He refused to believe that Ling Xiao could come up with any new tricks to deal with him. For the sake of fighting Ling Xiao as soon as possible, he didn't even hesitate to eat the special medicine he'd been saving for Feng Fei, Tianhai Tyranny, and Lei Lai. He wanted to recover as soon as possible. Even if you want to die, there's no need to be in such a hurry. Ling Xiao looked at Xiao Budian. Truthfully speaking, he was already prepared to pick a strong opponent to warm up with in the 4th round. Even if he didn't pick Xiao Budian, he'd pick Qingqiu Lihua, the Silver Wolf Princess, or the Heavenly Wolf Gentleman. Now that Xiao Budian had jumped out, it saved him the trouble of choosing his opponent. Of course you'll be the one to die. Xiao Budian looked coldly at Ling Xiao, his eyes filled with cold, killing intent. Since you already know my true identity, then you should know that only one of us can survive. This battle will be your doomsday. If you have anything to say, say it now. Otherwise, you won't have another chance. I still have some kindness in me to give you this chance. Ling Xiao smiled faintly before walking towards the stage. If this battle had been in the past, he wouldn't have dared to say that he'd win for sure. After all, there was a gap between him and Xiao Budian back then in terms of cultivation and other aspects. The gap wasn't large, but in a fight between experts, a small difference could determine victory. Moreover, the gap wasn't large, but it wasn't small either. The difference in cultivation was there for all to see. But after the trip to the Celestial Prison Shrine, he didn't fear this opponent in the slightest. Before the battle begins, may I make a request to the judges? Ling Xiao stood on the stage, but didn't challenge Xiao Budian directly. Instead, he looked towards Xianming. Speak. Xianming said coldly, I request the judges to check Xiao Budian's condition. If his injuries are truly healed, then I'll challenge him. Otherwise, we can wait for another round. Ling Xiao grinned. What? Everyone thought they'd heard wrong. Was there something wrong with Ling Xiao's head? Or was he just overconfident? How could he have such a strange request? Sure, Lawless. Go and check. Xianming nodded. Since he could create trouble for Ling Xiao, why wouldn't he do it? Yes. Lawless went to Xiao Budian's side and pressed his hand on him. Although Xiao Budian wanted to resist, it was useless. With his strength, it was impossible for him to resist Lawless. After a while, Lawless turned his head and looked at Xianming. Sect Master, this person has indeed fully recovered. Can we start the battle now? Xiao Budian looked at Ling Xiao coldly and said, I hope you won't find any other excuses to evade me. Don't worry. Since you've fully recovered, I can take part in this battle without any worries. Ling Xiao wanted to kill Xiao Budian while he was still in good condition so that he could win fair and square. Otherwise, who knew how many vile people would slander him in private? Moreover, if he killed Xiao Budian like this, Xiao Budian would give up completely. At that time, it would be easier for him to devour Xiao Budian. Chapter 1966. In the future, the 9 demons' divine art would definitely be a great help to Ling Xiao on the path of martial arts. Therefore, he would not give up. The Plague Demon King, the Evil Beast Demon King, the Lightning Demon King, the Yin-Yang Demon King, and the 100 Insects Demon King. These were the 5 Demon Kings. Only 4 more were needed before he could cultivate the true 9 demons' divine art. although it was difficult to cultivate and was considered useless at this stage. He knew that as long as he did not give up now, it would become delicious in the future. "Come up, little thing." Ling Xiao finally issued a challenge. This caused the crowd to become excited again. Since the Battle of the Kings, Ling Xiao had consecutively killed the 100-eyed Demon King, Crown Princess, and Fairy Qingqiu. Meanwhile, Little Thing was a genius who was even stronger than the three of them. Even among the 13 top geniuses, he was ranked in the top 6. It would not be as easy to deal with him as the three of them. Could Ling Xiao really defeat this person? "I asked you to write your last words. Are you not going to do it?" Little Thing slowly stepped onto the arena. The terrifying aura of a level 18 Yin-Yang realm martial artist spread throughout the entire arena. He crazily charged towards Ling Xiao. "If you don't, you won't have a chance. I don't care what powerful martial arts you've cultivated, but cultivation is the most basic thing. You're 3 levels away from me, yet you dare to challenge me. This is the best chance for me to kill you. Thank me. I won't destroy your body because it will belong to me in the future. Your woman, your country, they will all belong to me." Little Thing stood on the arena. He was not in a hurry to attack. Instead, he used his powerful aura to intimidate Ling Xiao. He wanted to make Ling Xiao lose the will to fight first. It would be easier to fight this way. Although he was arrogant, he did not dare to be careless at all. After all, he was not stupid. Ling Xiao could kill 3 top geniuses. Although the 3 of them were not as good as him, there was nothing wrong with being careful. Being careful did not mean being afraid. You're right. Cultivation is indeed the most basic. However, if you know me, you should know that I killed a martial artist at the 16th level of the Yin-Yang realm when I was at the 13th level of the Yin-Yang realm. I killed a martial artist at the 17th level of the Yin-Yang realm when I was at the 14th level of the Yin-Yang realm. I'm at the 15th level of the Yin-Yang realm, and you're at the 18th level of the Yin-Yang realm. Do you think I can kill you? Didn't anyone tell you that there are many geniuses in this world who can challenge opponents above their level? Ling Xiao asked with a smile. "Ignorant." Xiao Badian sneered. "It's true that you can challenge those above your level, but the ones you kill are all mediocre. In front of me, you won't have any chance." What if my cultivation base reaches the 16th level of the Yin-Yang realm? Ling Xiao suddenly grinned, and an equally powerful aura erupted from his body, clashing with Xiao Badian's pressure, and was actually not at a disadvantage. The 16th level of the Yin-Yang stage. What was going on? Everyone was shocked, including Xianming and Jiu Tianming. The 2 strongest martial artists present could not see that Ling Xiao had concealed his cultivation base. This surprised them. The demonic mirror martial soul. Jiu Tianming smiled, and his surprise turned into joy. He did not expect the old palace master to pass the demonic mirror martial soul to Ling Xiao, which allowed him to conceal his cultivation base. Even Xianming and I could not see through it. Among the people present, only Jiu Tianming had guessed this. The rest were still in the dark. They had no idea that Ling Xiao had cultivated a powerful secret technique, like Junho, which allowed him to hide his cultivation base so well. I could kill a martial artist at the 18th level of the Yin-Yang realm when I was at the 15th level. Now that I'm at the 16th level, even if you're a genius, you're still no match for me. Am I right? Ling Xiao looked at Xiao Badian and smiled. Xiao Badian's expression was indeed a little surprised. He really didn't expect that Ling Xiao's cultivation would still be able to break through after being deprived of the opportunity to participate in the first trial ground. He must have seen a ghost. You really surprise me. You're at the 16th level of the Yin-Yang realm. Not bad at all. You hit it well too. Xiao Badian clapped his hands. Then his expression turned disdainful as he said, coldly, "Even so what? Everyone knows that the 17th, 18th, and 19th levels of the Yin-Yang realm are the hardest to break through. Moreover, The difference between each level is greater than the previous 2 or even 3 levels. It's even more so for geniuses. Even if you can defeat a normal martial artist at the 18th level of the Yin-Yang realm with your 16th level of cultivation, you're still no match for me. Then his aura grew stronger, and the origin energy in his body grew more ferocious. It was as if he wanted to show off his strength to Ling Xiao. It looks like you won't shed tears until you see the coffin. Perhaps I can't defeat Feng Fei, Tianhai Tyranny, Lei Lai, and Mu Wanchuang with my 16th level of cultivation, but I don't think it'll be a problem to defeat you. Let's see who's the real deal. There's no need to waste words. You think I'm inferior to them? If you're so confident, you wouldn't give up the chance to fight for first place. Even you think you're inferior to them, right? Ling Xiao mocked. You talk too much. Once I kill you, you'll know how strong I am. The effects of 6 inheritances appeared behind Xiao Budian at the same time. Black Wind, Giant, Green Radiance, Battle Dragon, and Thousand-Legged Insect. You ruined my plans in Black Wind Canyon and didn't let me obtain all 6 inheritances. Today, I'll take your body and regain the Scarlet Sword General's inheritance. Once I gather all 6 inheritances, I'll become even stronger. So, just obediently become my power. You don't know what you're talking about. Ling Xiao waved his hand, and Ice's fury appeared before, transforming into the divine radiant sword. The blazing sword light enveloped the entire stage and repelled Xiao Budian's evil aura. The terrifying scarlet sword aura whistled as it rushed towards Xiao Budian. Ling Xiao didn't plan to reveal his full strength. He felt that Xiao Budian wasn't worthy, at least not yet, because Xiao Budian hadn't used his full strength yet. Since his opponent wanted to play with him, then he'd play with him. At the same time, he could practice the Scarlet Sun sword art. After all, his Scarlet Sun sword art was only at the small success stage. He hadn't even reached the proficient stage, much less the higher realms. The sword wind whistled as it radiated light. With Ling Xiao as the center, all of the light turned into sword light that tore through space. The protective wall above the arena made cracking noises, as if it was withstanding a great amount of pressure. Kill! The divine radiant sword in Ling Xiao's hand trembled as he used Daybreak from the horizon. When he used the sword move, it looked slow, but in an instant it sped up like lightning. Chapter 1967. Boulder King, block him! Behind Xiao Budian, the mountain giant waved its huge arms in front of him, wanting to block Ling Xiao's sharp sword for him. Boom! The sword chi was too sharp, and it actually shattered the mountain giant's huge arms. It was still unstoppable as it crazily attacked its opponent. You can block the first sword, but can you block the second one? Crimson Sun Flash. There was almost no time gap. The terrifying sword light instantly flashed, and a terrifying killing intent enveloped Xiao Budian's entire body. It also caught up with the sword chi that had already been weakened, causing this sword chi to become even more powerful. Xiao Budian's expression was uncertain. Clearly, he did not expect Ling Xiao's move to be so powerful. He originally wanted to attack first, but now he did not even have the chance to attack. It was simply infuriating. Black Wind, Green Mang. Kill! Black Wind, wrapped in green mang, attacked the second sword light. Xiao Budian did not dare to be careless. Even though he wanted to attack, the most important thing right now was to defend. He believed that as long as he blocked this wave of attacks, Ling Xiao's attack would definitely stop. At that time, it would be his chance. Black Wind, wrapped in green mang, forming a strange tornado on the stage. It wanted to shatter Ling Xiao's sword light and repel it. However, Ling Xiao's expression was still calm. He did not even move. He just watched his own sword light attack the Black Wind and green mang. Kacha! Kacha! It was like a sharp blade touching a cardboard. This sharp sword intent was too powerful. It was so powerful that it was ridiculous. Black Wind King's Black Wind and Green Mang King's Green Mang combined could not defeat it. Could it be that General Scarlet, Sword's inheritance, is the strongest? The crowd was confused. However, only Lu Lian, who also received General Scarlet, Sword's inheritance, knew. It was not like that at all. The inheritance was the same. The only difference was that each person comprehended different things. Comprehension was really too important. Lu Lian felt that what she comprehended from the same inheritance was just the tip of the iceberg. Compared to Ling Xiao's comprehension, it was completely incomparable. However, as she watched this battle, she suddenly had a new idea. From Ling Xiao's battle, she had also comprehended some things that she felt had benefited her greatly. War Dragon. Seeing that the black wind and green light could not block Ling Xiao's sword light, Xiao Budian roared, and a battle dragon behind him broke through the air, merging into the black wind and green light, causing the power of the attack to greatly increase. Facing this battle dragon's roar, Ling Xiao remained unmoved. With a cold smile, the divine radiant sword in his hand suddenly changed color and turned into a blood-red sword. The Crimson Blood Sword was a divine sword of light that had been fused with the power of the Crimson Blood Sword. Not only did it possess the effects of the divine radiant sword, it also possessed the effects of the Scarlet Blood Sword's ability to absorb blood qi. Not only did its power not decrease, it also increased the threat it posed. The War Dragon actually roared in pain, as if its blood was being continuously absorbed into the blood-red longsword. This scene caused countless people to cry out in surprise. Shatter! The Scarlet Blood Sword stabbed out a few times, and terrifying sword qi continuously shot out. The Battle Dragon, Black Wind, and Azure Light were all torn apart and finally collapsed. No, this is impossible. Xiao Budian couldn't believe the reality in front of him. He roared and his body split open again. His ugly original form was finally revealed. Sir God Qianzu merge. The huge thousand-legged worm merged with his original body. His original body became the core of the thousand-legged worm, and he waved his thousand-legged worm legs to attack Ling Xiao again. Black Wind, Meteorite, Azure Light, War Dragon. At that moment, the four great inheritances merged with Sir God Qianzu completely. The five great inheritances exploded with shocking power and attacked Ling Xiao. Third move of Crimson Sun sword technique, Crimson Sun Whirlpool. Crimson Sun Whirlpool was performed with the Scarlet Blood Sword, and a crimson whirlpool appeared in the space around Ling Xiao. As the whirlpool spun, the thousand-legged worm couldn't control its own power, and it was continuously pulled in by the terrifying whirlpool. Not only that, but within the whirlpool, there was a sharp sword qi that attacked continuously. The 100 Insects Demon King let out a scream of terror. Ling Xiao was able to kill a martial artist at level 18 Yin Yang Realm when he was at level 15 Yin Yang Realm. Now that he exploded with the cultivation of the peak of level 16 Yin Yang Realm, the Crimson Sun sword technique in his hand naturally became more powerful. On top of that, he continued to use it, and his sword skill became more skillful. The current power was naturally more ferocious than before. 100 Insect Nest. After abandoning the thousand-legged worm, the 100 Insects Demon King's original body retreated, and he finally used his final trump card. A gigantic hive appeared behind him. Ferocious demonic insects crawled out of the insect nest. These insects were obviously tainted by demonic qi, and they became extremely ferocious. The insects covered the sky and rolled towards Ling Xiao, and they swore to bite Ling Xiao into pieces. Didn't you say that you don't want to destroy my body? Is it because you don't have the strength to do it? Ling Xiao sneered and mocked as he faced the demonic insects that covered the sky. You deserve to die. Xiao Budian did not explain, and he released the terrifying insects in a frenzy. These insects could not only kill, but they could also protect him. It was a perfect move. It could be used to attack or defend. He had used this move countless times to wear down enemies who were more powerful than him. Now, he did not think that Ling Xiao was more powerful than him, but he had to use this move if he wanted to kill Ling Xiao. How should Ling Xiao deal with this? Everyone looked at Ling Xiao. Facing Xiao Budian's almost invincible move, it was not an easy task for Ling Xiao to deal with it as he pleased. Ling Xiao quickly gave them the answer. Crimson Sun Sword, Rising Sun Change. The Crimson Sun Sword in his hand instantly turned into a Crimson Sun Sword. It was even more powerful, and its lethality skyrocketed. Together with the Rising Sun Change of the Crimson Sun 9 Change, the entire arena was bathed in blood-red sunlight. Ling Xiao slowly closed his eyes. He controlled the world and everything around him. Streaks of sword qi crisscrossed the air. Every streak of sword qi would kill one or several demonic insects. When the demonic insects died, a bloody aura flew out and merged into the Crimson Sun Sword. It made the Crimson Sun Sword even more powerful. What a terrifying move! What a strange battle tactic! What a cold sword intent! Everyone stretched their necks and swallowed their saliva. However, they were not willing to blink, as if they were afraid of missing the most exciting details. At this time, the blood-red sunlight had completely turned into Crimson Sun Sword Qi. Ling Xiao stood on the arena, and he was like the Crimson Sword General of the past, killing in all directions. Not only did the sword light kill the demonic insects, but it also kept approaching Xiao Budian. Moreover, the more demonic insects died, the more powerful the sword light became. It was almost an irreversible situation. Everyone could see that Xiao Budian was about to be defeated. Xiao Budian had used his martial soul and all of his strength. Chapter 1968. No one could guess. Ling Xiao was clearly thrown into the heavenly prison. Just what did he rely on to raise his strength to such a powerful level? Very clearly, this Crimson Sun sword art was obtained after Ling Xiao participated in the White Tiger meet. It was absolutely not something he knew before. Just what did this guy do in these 10 days? How did he become so powerful? The martial artists who originally still had some contempt for Ling Xiao all put away these thoughts now. This person was too terrifying. He was simply unfathomable, completely unable to see through or see through. Still not defeated? Ling Xiao smiled coldly and said, "Then I'll add fuel to the fire. Crimson Sun 9 transformations, Ardent Sun transformation." The Ardent Sun transformation that was even stronger than the Rising Sun transformation made the Blood Sun sword's power stronger again. Those sword lights also seemed to have become much thicker in an instant. Each streak could kill several demonic bugs. Seeing the demonic bugs being killed one by one, Xiao Budian was burning with anxiety. Is this really the sword art comprehended from the Crimson Sword General's inheritance? How can it crush Xiao Budian's 5 inheritances so easily? This is completely illogical. Everyone was truly, completely stunned. The same level of inheritance actually became so terrifying in Ling Xiao's hands. Looking at Xiao Budian on the opposite side, he already used his final trump card. Terrifying yin and yang essence energy continuously gushed out from his body. Very clearly, he had no backup plan. He could only continuously release his yin and yang essence energy. Although he clearly knew that he might still lose like this, he could only do so. Apart from this, he had no other choice. 5 poisons bug kings destroy him. Xiao Budian roared, and from the bug nest, 5 gigantic bug kings crawled out. The instant these 5 bug kings came out, Xiao Budian's entire person seemed to have instantly shrunk. That main body seemed to have consumed too much energy. It actually could not fly anymore and could only land on the stage. He had gambled everything on this final move. It's useless. Everything you're doing now is just a futile effort. You clearly know that I still have power that I haven't released. Crimson, Sun, 9 transformations, Ardent Sun transformation. Rumble. The moment the 5 poison bug kings came out, one of them was pierced through by Ling Xiao's sword chi, dying at the exit of the nest. It's not over yet. Scarlet, Sun 9 transformations, True Yang transformation. An even more terrifying power was released, and another bug king was killed. I acknowledge your strength as the 100 Insects Demon King. No matter what despicable methods you used, I truly admire you for being able to raise your strength to such a level in such a short time. But today, I can't let you live. No matter what you do, you'll die in the end. Pure Yang change of the 9 transformations of the Scarlet Sun. Ling Xiao's sword intent became stronger once again, and the sword chi became even more ferocious. Another 5 poison bug king was blasted into pieces. The only ones left were the Insect King, Centipede, and the Insect King, Scorpion. It's over. Xiao Budian is completely done for this time. Ling Xiao's sword technique is too strong. The power of this sword is even greater than the previous one. Just how terrifying is this guy's strength? It's simply inconceivable. Everyone stared at the bloody sun's sword in Ling Xiao's hand. Each sword was stronger than the previous one, as if there was no upper limit. This was what shocked them the most. This move, which could be considered a sure kill move for others, was actually just an ordinary move in Ling Xiao's hand. Was there any justice in this? The last sword. Scarlet Sun 9 transformations. Heavenly Yang transformation. You and your bugs go to hell. The bloody sun sword in Ling Xiao's hand suddenly surged with a huge red sword light that was 4 to 5 meters in diameter. The sword light wrapped around the blood sun sword, making it look like a huge sword. Ling Xiao brandished this huge bloody sun sword and directly slashed at Xiao Budian. At the same time, he also slashed at the remaining 2 bug kings. It's too terrifying. This power is actually so terrifying. Many warriors felt their hearts tremble. They clearly did not expect Ling Xiao to be able to raise the Scarlet Sword General's sword technique to such a terrifying level. They probably did not know that this was only a lesser success sword technique. If they knew this, they probably would not dare to underestimate the 6 great inheritances of Black Wind Canyon. The terrifying sword intent suppressed the 100 Bugs Demon King to the point that it could not breathe. The Bug King Centipede turned into a pool of blood on the spot and integrated into the bloody sun sword. The Bug King Scorpion was shattered into pieces on the spot, and the blood evil chi was completely absorbed by the bloody sun sword. Only Xiao Budian was left lying there pitifully. His body was almost unable to move, and he could only let out hysterical cries. He probably did not expect that he would be suppressed to such an extent. This was simply unimaginable, but it was right in front of his eyes. Xiao Budian admit defeat. Just as Xiao Budian was about to be killed by Ling Xiao, dark clouds suddenly covered the sky. A figure slowly descended. A voice like spring thunder came out of his mouth. Although this voice was directed at Xiao Budian, it was obviously directed at Ling Xiao. The terrifying voice produced a substantial attack that directly attacked Ling Xiao. Boom! Ling Xiao's figure retreated a few steps, almost falling off the arena. The bloody sun, sword in his hand, also completely collapsed. Die! Suddenly finding the best opportunity to kill Ling Xiao, Xiao Budian did not admit defeat, but fiercely pounced forward. Ling Xiao no longer had a sword in his hand. Moreover, his blood chi was surging and his face was pale. It was obvious that he had suffered a serious injury. With Xiao Budian's ferocity, how could he let go of such a good opportunity? You're courting death. Without a sword, Ling Xiao could still kill Xiao Budian, especially now that Xiao Budian was almost out of oil. So what if he was injured? It was not a serious injury anyway. In just a moment, the stage became quiet. Ling Xiao's right hand turned into a huge demonic claw, grabbing Xiao Budian in his hand. Blue blood was constantly dripping. It could only be Xiao Budian or the 100 Bugs Demon King's blood. Ling Xiao looked coldly at the martial artist in the sky. He was very unhappy. This person should be a martial artist from the heavenly demon cult. If she had not suddenly attacked, Xiao Budian would already be a corpse. Or it could be said that he would have been completely absorbed by him. This guy was very strong, but also very despicable. Compared to Xianming, he was not to be outdone. Zhu Tianming indifferently looked at that person, and a trace of killing intent appeared on her face. Not long ago, she said that she would protect Ling Xiao from death, and Ling Xiao was ambushed by this person. He clearly did not put her in his eyes. "Who are you?" Ling Xiao coldly asked. In any case, Xiao Budian was in his hand, and he could kill this trash at any time. However, before that, he had to figure out this person's identity. The little beggar from back, then, has actually grown to this level. However, no matter how strong you are, the sin of being ungrateful and killing the Ling family will never be forgotten. Chapter 1969. Ling Xiao frowned slightly. He felt that things weren't as simple as he thought. This woman actually mentioned what happened when he was in Tianfeng City's Ling family. At that time, he had indeed killed people from the Ling family, but that was because some of them chose to betray him. He never felt that he was in the wrong. Today, this matter was actually mentioned again. Could it be that the small Ling family had some influence outside? Do I, Ling Xiao, need to be criticized by a despicable and shameless person like you? Ling Xiao said coldly. The other party was very strong, but she was clearly an enemy. If he offended her, so be it. At this time, even if he acted like a grandson, the other party wouldn't have a good impression of him. He might as well act like a man. Hee, I will slowly settle the score with you for the past. But now, Xiao Budian has already admitted defeat, so you can let him go. This is a matter of the rules. You have also argued for it before, am I right? The woman said with a smile. He admitted defeat? Did any of you hear him admit defeat? Ling Xiao looked around and asked coldly, Judge, are you going to sit by and do nothing when an outsider interferes with the battle of the white tiger meat? He directly threw the burden to Xianming. No matter what, the white tiger meat was jointly created by the black tortoise divine palace and the 5 great forces. Now that an outsider had come to cause trouble, if Xianming didn't say anything, he would have no face to continue staying in the white tiger continent. Perhaps even the Deep Earth sect would doubt his qualifications to be the sect master of the Black Tortoise Divine Palace. He only asked Xiao Budian to surrender. It's not considered interference. Xianming frowned. At this time, this bastard still wanted to protect the person who attacked Ling Xiao. Sect Master Xianming. This poor Taoist can't listen anymore. Although this Ling Xiao is very arrogant, his words are very reasonable. The sect master of the Zhenyi school, who hadn't shown himself until now, finally showed himself. He just walked slowly through the air towards them, and he said as he walked, he's probably a rebirth realm expert, and he isn't any weaker to us. That voice from before was clearly mixed with a soul attack. If it wasn't for the fact that Ling Xiao's soul force was strong enough, he would have been killed. This penniless Taoist doesn't like this kid either, but I don't want the white tiger meat to become a child's play. If anyone can casually interfere, would it still be considered a grand meat? The sect master of the Zhenyi school made it very clear. That woman was already a rebirth realm expert. Moreover, she was at the same level as the sect master of the mysterious underworld sect. Even a single roar from her was not something a yin-yang realm martial artist like Ling Xiao could withstand. That definitely wasn't just talking, it was directly interfering with the white tiger meat. Taoist Imei. Xianming's face was uncertain. Among the 5 great powers, Taoist Imei's strength was the one he couldn't see through the most. He didn't expect that this person would actually stand out and speak up for Ling Xiao. Didn't Ling Xiao kill the 100-eyed demon monarch Wulong? Logically speaking, Taoist Yimei should hate Ling Xiao very much. In fact, he was just blinded by hatred. Taoist Yimei wasn't helping Ling Xiao, but the Order of the White Tiger meet. If an outsider casually interfered with the top 5 great powers and the Black Tortoise Temple, where would their face go? If he had thought this through, Xian Ming wouldn't think so. Many thanks for upholding justice, Taoist Yimei. I believe that the 5 great powers of the White Tiger continent won't disappoint like the Black Tortoise Temple. Ling Xiao smiled at Taoist Yimei, then casually swiped down with his terrifying demonic claws. At this point, how could he possibly let the 100 insects demon monarch live? Could it be that he didn't think there was enough trouble? If he could solve the problem today, he definitely wouldn't leave it until tomorrow. Kid, take a step back and you'll have a better view. You're so vicious. Aren't you afraid that others will also be ruthless to your friends? That woman was clearly a little anxious, because she could also see that Taoist Yimei was powerful. In addition, Jiu Tianmeng also seemed to be dissatisfied with her. With her strength alone, she really couldn't contend against the two of them. Afraid? Your words are really laughable. Could it be that if I don't kill him, he'll show mercy to my friends? In any case, you're also a senior expert. Do you actually need me to teach you this? Ling Xiao couldn't help but mock. Just now, when the little guy tried to kill Sun Lingchan, if he hadn't acted in time, Sun Lingchan would have already died. And at that time, Sun Lingchan had already shouted the 2 words, "Admit defeat." This time, the little guy still didn't admit defeat. He even took advantage of the time when he was attacked by that woman to launch a sneak attack. If he still wanted to keep this alive, Ling Xiao would really become a saint. This Ling Xiao, is he really going to kill the little guy? I can tell that this little guy's background isn't bad either. Ling Xiao already offended so many people, and he still wants to offend such a powerful enemy. I really don't understand what he's trying to do. Are you stupid? Either way, he already offended so many powerhouses. It doesn't matter if he offends one more. Moreover, even if he doesn't kill those people still want to kill him. What choice does he have? That's right. I want to see how Ling Xiao can still live well under the covetous eyes of so many powerhouses. People discussed animatedly. Some said that Ling Xiao was courting death and shouldn't have offended so many people. Some thought that Ling Xiao had no choice and could only do this. Otherwise, he would have long been killed by others. But no matter what viewpoint, they all had a common thought anyway, and that was that Ling Xiao was in danger. Once the White Tiger Storm gathering ended, it might be Ling Xiao's doomsday. Do you know who I am? That woman saw that her strength actually couldn't intimidate Ling Xiao and finally wanted to bring out her background. Who are you? Ling Xiao looked at the woman indifferently. He was really interested in the answer to this question. Do you still remember Ling Feng and Ling Yun of the Ling family? The woman asked. Of course I do. Those 2 bullied me because I was born a beggar and pressured me everywhere. In the end, they even colluded with the ninjas to betray the Ling family. So my friends and I killed them. 2 things worse than pigs and dogs. So what if I killed them? Could it be that you're a relative of those 2 animals? Ling Xiao asked coldly. You still dare to be so arrogant? The Ling family took you in back then, and you're already greatly indebted to them. Not only are you not grateful, you even killed the young master of the main family. Now, you're still slandering them. Who's more shameless? Who's worse than pigs and dogs? The woman asked. What a joke. I joined the Ling family because of my ability. If it weren't for me, the Ling family would have been destroyed long ago. I don't know which trash you heard this from, but now in the Sky Dragon continent, the Ling family is already the #1 family, the strongest family. The head of the Ling family, Ling Wuhan, is my best friend. You, an outsider, dare to slander me like this after hearing a few words of slander? Chapter 1970. You have a sharp tongue, but your excuses are useless. Even if they treated you like livestock, you should be grateful instead of killing them. If you kill them, do you know the identity of their mother? The woman asked again. What identity? Ling Xiao remembered clearly that Ling Feng and Ling Yun's mother had never appeared during the time he was in the Ling family. To tell you the truth, their mother passed by Tianfeng City and gave birth to 2 boys and a girl by accident. The 2 boys stayed in the Ling family while the girl was taken away and raised in the Linglong Palace. Their mother is the saintess of the Linglong Palace. The woman finally revealed her origin. You're not from the heavenly demon sect. Ling Xiao was stunned. He had never heard of the Linglong Palace and thought that the woman was from the heavenly demon sect. Heavenly demon sect? I've never heard of it. But you'll understand if you ask Xianming what the Linglong Palace represents in the Black Tortoise Continent. The woman looked at Xianming and said, Xianming's expression was ugly. If the Black Tortoise Temple was a branch of the Deep Earth sect, then the Deep Earth sect could only be considered a vassal of the Linglong Palace. The Linglong Palace had hundreds of sects like the Deep Earth sect in the Black Tortoise Continent. It was said that the Linglong Palace was full of women. Moreover, these women were extremely powerful. Ordinary disciples of the Linglong Palace were called the Linglong Envoy. Greetings to the Linglong Envoy. Please forgive me for not knowing that the Linglong Envoy was here. Xianming actually bowed and apologized to the woman in front of so many people. Forget it. Hurry up and ask Ling Xiao to release Xiao Badian. This person has a special meaning to the Linglong Palace. The Linglong Envoy said, Ling Xiao, release him. Xianming shouted sternly, If he admits defeat, I'll release him. Ling Xiao sneered, Otherwise, what you say doesn't count. What that so-called Linglong Envoy says doesn't count either. No matter how powerful the Linglong Palace was, they couldn't invade the White Tiger Continent on a large scale due to the restrictions of the laws. If they only sent the Linglong Envoy over, they wouldn't be able to unleash their full potential. What was he afraid of? Back when he was in the Divine Phoenix Continent, he had also faced the threat of many experts from the White Tiger Continent, but he had still managed to survive. There was really nothing to fear. In any case, it was impossible for him to let Xiao Budian go today. Linglong Messenger was furious. Just as he was about to attack, a woman appeared in front of him. Her eyes were cold and indifferent. It was Jiao Tianming. She looked at Linglong Emissary and said, Your Linglong Palace can behave atrociously in the Black Tortoise Continent, but in the White Tiger Continent, it is the territory of my 9-heaven palace. If you want to die, you can do it directly. If Ling Xiao had broken the rules, I naturally wouldn't have protected him. But since you're the one breaking the rules, don't blame me for being impolite. No matter how many people from Linglong Palace come, I will kill them all. I am not a good-for-nothing like Xianming. No matter how many came, he would kill them all. It was really domineering. Was this the personality of the 9 Heavens Palace Lord? Compared to this woman, Xianming was too cowardly, which made people speechless. The crowd discussed animatedly. Obviously, they were disappointed in Xianming and the Black Tortoise Temple. I, Daoistime, will also say something fair here today. The White Tiger Continent is not Linglong Palace's White Tiger Continent. You are the overlords of the Black Tortoise Continent. But don't forget that a strong dragon can't suppress a local snake. Even if we are not as strong as you, we will not be slaughtered by you. The Jingyi school's leader was really a smart person. He was much better than Xianming. He knew how to use the current situation to promote himself. His words instantly raised his and the Jingyi school's image by a lot. Although the Tianhai Empire has a grudge against Ling Xiao, we will take revenge. We will not allow outsiders to interfere. The Tianhai king also stood up. It was obvious that he wanted to pick a side. The White Tiger Empire is willing to stand with the 9 Heavens Palace against a common enemy. The Tiger King also roared. That's right. The white tiger gathering needs justice. Outsiders are not allowed to interfere. My Sky Wolf sect also supports the Nine Heavens Palace. The Sky Wolf sect's leader also stood up. The Silver Fox Empire also supports the Nine Heavens Palace. The Queen of Green Hill also said. Obviously, no one was willing to hand over their power so easily. The Black Tortoise Divine Temple was powerful, but they were too cowardly in front of the exquisite envoy. Following such a boss, how could they have a future? On the contrary, the Palace Lord of the Nine Heavens Palace, Zhu Tianming, displayed a rare domineering aura. Following such a person, the White Tiger Continent would have a chance of defeating the Black Tortoise Continent in the future. Internal strife was one thing, but when it came to outsiders, the forces of the White Tiger Continent were still relatively united. Xian Ming's expression turned ugly. At this moment, he hated Ling Xiao to the core. If it wasn't for Ling Xiao, none of this would have happened. If it wasn't for Ling Xiao, he wouldn't have been looked down upon by so many people. If it wasn't for Ling Xiao, he would still be the respected sect lord of the Black Tortoise Divine Temple. That damned brat. A dignified rebirth realm expert, the dignified exquisite envoy of the exquisite palace, was threatened. She was furious, but at this moment she had no other choice. Facing these people, a trace of panic even appeared on her originally calm face. She knew that she had failed today. A complete failure. Exquisite envoy, you can leave. Xian Ming sighed and said, after the White Tiger Tempest meet, I will personally go to the Black Tortoise Continent to apologize. Clearly, he wanted to let Linglong Messenger go. Of course, Jiao Tianmeng had no intention of attacking. Exquisite Envoy's cultivation was very strong. It wouldn't be easy to kill her. Moreover, once she was killed, she would become the enemy of the exquisite palace. It wouldn't be like now, where there was still room for mediation. Humph, I won't leave. I want to see what kind of justice your White Tiger Tempest meet will bring. Exquisite Envoy was also a prideful person. Although she was afraid, she still felt that she couldn't leave. If she left now, the exquisite palace's face would be thrown away. Even if she returned in the future, she would be punished. Ling Xiao didn't care if she left or not. Instead, he looked at Xiao Budian in his hand and said coldly, back at the Sacred Dynasty's Deity Island, since you were lucky enough to escape, you should have concealed your identity and become the 100 Insects Demon King instead of killing me. When you were plotting against me, did you think that today's situation would happen? When you ambushed me, did you think that today's tragedy would happen? Xiao Budian's face was malevolent, but he couldn't say anything. Because he was controlled by Ling Xiao wouldn't let him surrender. Once he surrendered, he couldn't kill him. After all, Ling Xiao was a person who abided by the rules. The 100 Insects Demon King was vexed. He really didn't expect this. Even in his dreams, he didn't expect that the weak ant from back then would grow so fast. Chapter 1971. Countless people were watching the scene of Ling Xiao crushing Xiao Budian. Their fear of Ling Xiao had clearly become even stronger. They did not expect Ling Xiao to be able to raise his cultivation to the 16th level of the Yin-Yang realm and crush Xiao Budian so easily. If there was anyone who didn't care, it would be 4 people: Feng Fei, Tianhai Tyranny, Lei Lai, and Mu Wanshuang. The rest of the participants looked at Ling Xiao, their expressions turning grave. This guy must still be hiding his strength. Wine Demon Sword Side. The Liquor Demon Sword Side. Old Hong, it seems that you and I still can't see through this child. Hong Chi smiled wryly. That's right. It's too shocking. No wonder he's the descendant of those two. Many people in the crowd were even more surprised than them. Until now, there was not even a drop of sweat on Ling Xiao's forehead. What did that mean? It meant that he could handle Xiao Budian with ease and didn't use up much stamina or internal energy. That's impossible. How did this guy become so strong? Have I been wrong all this time? The 100 Insects Demon King had confidently challenged Ling Xiao to a duel because he saw that Ling Xiao wasn't strong enough yet. But now he was in complete chaos. Terrified, he couldn't even open his mouth to admit defeat. Just what did this guy get from the Black Tortoise Temple? Could it be that the old bastard actually passed on all his skills to this guy? Xianming looked at Ling Xiao, his heart filled with shock. Besides that, he couldn't think of any other possibilities. But how could a yin-yang realm cultivator tolerate the internal energy of a rebirth realm cultivator? That wasn't realistic. Crazy. Too crazy. He couldn't figure it out at all. Originally, Xianming thought that everything was under his control. But now, it seemed that everything was out of his control. This made him very nervous and angry. Ling Xiao's hand continued to exert strength until Xiao Budian's body was compressed into a ball. You should understand now, right? In front of me, you're the true ant. The reason why I fought with you for so long wasn't because I couldn't kill you, but because I wanted to use you to practice my fist technique. It's a pity that you're still too weak as a sparring partner. You can't make me use the new things I've learned. Sparring partner? That guy actually said that he was only using the little guy as a sparring partner. The level of this sparring partner was too high. This was someone ranked in the top 6 of the 13 top geniuses. Lastly, let me tell you something. I won't kill you. I will only extract your soul and use it to cultivate my 9 devil divine art. You wanted my body, so now that your soul is being used by me, I wonder what you think about it. When he said this, Ling Xiao saw the 100 Insects Demon King's ugly face reveal a look of fear and anger. That's right. Death filled with anger and fear should be the fate of this fellow. Crack! Finally, a clear and crisp sound rang out from the arena. Within the demonic claws, the little guy's body was completely crushed and burned by the flames. Not even the remains of his corpse were left behind. Only Ling Xiao knew that this fellow's soul had been imprisoned in the mountain river world. Soon it would be trained into a part of the 9 demons' divine art. If I really wanted to kill you, 1 punch would be enough. After killing the little guy, Ling Xiao indifferently said this sentence. His voice was not loud, but it shocked the entire audience. If he had said this before, others would have thought that he was an ignorant and arrogant person who only knew how to boast. However, now that he said it, no one doubted the truth of his words. From the beginning to the end, Ling Xiao completely suppressed the little guy and finally crushed him to death. Thinking about it carefully, this process was really simple. It was as if he was bullying an enemy who was not on the same level as him. Everyone looked at Ling Xiao in fear. What a terrifying fellow! What a mysterious brat! He really made people unable to figure him out. How many more surprises could this fellow bring to everyone? When Linglong Messenger saw this scene, her eyes were filled with anger and cold killing intent. Ling Xiao actually did not give her any face, did not give Linglong Palace any face. In a situation where she did not leave, he actually cruelly killed the little guy in front of her. Not even the corpse was left behind. Not to mention the corpse, even the clothes were completely burned. Ling Xiao raised his head and looked at Linglong Messenger. You better not hold a grudge against me because of a trash like this. Otherwise, Linglong Palace will never have a peaceful day. After he finished speaking, he slowly returned to his seat and closed his eyes. He began to review the previous scenes of the battle. This sparring partner of the little guy was actually quite qualified. At the very least, it was of great help to his Red Sun sword art. He felt that his moves seemed to have improved again. Bastard, do you really think that you can challenge the entire Linglong Palace? Unless you hide in the White Tiger continent for the rest of your life, you will be killed the moment you step into the Black Tortoise continent. Linglong Messenger was really furious. Not only was Ling Xiao not intimidated by her threats, he was threatening her instead. I definitely have to go to the Black Tortoise continent. After all, That's the only way to reach heaven's chosen. If Linglong Palace insists on going their own way, then just wait. Ling Xiao did not open his eyes, but said a few words casually. Then he ignored Linglong Messenger. Silence fell upon the scene. Everyone stared blankly at Ling Xiao. In the past, they thought that this Ling Xiao was just a frivolous youth. His strength could not match his arrogance and domineering aura. But now, most people's thoughts had changed. Ling Xiao had killed the little guy so easily. Adding in the previous battles, it shouldn't be too much for him to be ranked in the top 5, right? The top 4 should be between Feng Fei, Tianhai Tyranny, Lei Lai, and Mu Wanshuang. With Ling Xiao's strength, he definitely has the qualifications to fight for 5th place. That's right, to be able to kill the 6th-ranked Xiao Badian. Even if he's not 5th, he should be 6th. We've really underestimated this martial artist from the Tianlong continent. His strength doesn't lose out to those top geniuses. In the eyes of the crowd, as long as Ling Xiao could defeat the Heavenly Wolf Gentleman and drunken Linglong, then there was no doubt that he'd be ranked in the top 5. This guy is really an accident. I thought he was just a piece of trash who was strong on the outside but weak on the inside. I never expected him to be even stronger on the outside. Perhaps even Ling Xiao's friends didn't expect Ling Xiao to fight for the top 5. They had originally thought that it would be enough if they could help Ling Xiao enter the top 10. But accidents weren't all bad things. For the spectators who didn't care, the more unexpected a dark horse appeared, the happier they were. Chapter 1972. With Xiao Budian's death, the number of people increased from 18 to 17. However, for the sake of fairness, the martial artists who were ranked in front of Xiao Budian were given an additional 3 points. Everyone could understand that logic. Those who were ranked in front of Xiao Budian had a chance of defeating him. Now that Xiao Budian was killed by Ling Xiao, they had no opponent. Naturally, it was unfair, so it was normal for them to get an additional 3 points. I'm not convinced, Qingqiu Lihua said. Although she was ranked behind Xiao Budian, she believed that she could defeat Xiao Budian. If you want an additional 3 points, it's simple. You just have to defeat any martial artist who is ranked in front of Xiao Budian. That way, you'll get an additional 3 points, and that person will lose 3 points. Lala said. Such an arrangement was very reasonable, and no one objected. In the following battles, the top 8 were all victorious, and Qingqiu Lihua got a bye. Getting a bye in the ranking battle was considered a victory. After all, it was considered a victory if others didn't choose you. However, Qingqiu Lihua wasn't too happy about that. She wanted to defeat the top 8 martial artists. No matter who it was, as long as she defeated them, she would get an additional 3 points. Now that there were no battles to be fought, she was naturally annoyed. There were no surprises in the 5th round. The top 8 were all victorious, and Qingqiu Lihua got a bye again. The 6th round was almost the same as the 5th round. It was just that the opponent was changed. In the 7th round, the situation finally started to change because the martial artists who could be chosen to give away their points had all been chosen. In this round, Ling Xiao chose the Heavenly Wolf young master. He was probably the weakest among the 13 top geniuses. With just one punch, Ling Xiao proved his strength. He had no enmity with the Heavenly Wolf young master, so he didn't tangle with him too much. He knocked him out of the ring and declared his victory. Long Chen was in trouble in this round. He could only choose Qingqiu Lihua or the top 8 martial artists. Although he tried very hard, he still lost to Qingqiu Lihua because of the huge difference in cultivation. However, Long Chen didn't work for nothing. Like Sun Lingchan, he also injured Qingqiu Lihua before admitting defeat. Qingqiu Lihua actually wanted to kill him, but it was useless. Long Chen's defense was too strong. If it wasn't for the fact that the difference in cultivation was too great, he might really be able to grind the green hill leaf fire to death. At the end of this round, there were only 7 people left with a perfect record. Feng Fei, Tian Hai Tyranny, and Lei Lai weren't surprised. Zui Linglong was also one of the 13 top geniuses, so it was not surprising that she was also one of them. The most surprising ones were the 3 dark horses, Ling Xiao, Cold Plum, and Mu Wanchuang. From the very beginning, he had been unlucky all the way to the 7th round. In the 8th round, Ling Xiao finally faced Qingqiu Lihua. Everyone knew very well that if Ling Xiao could defeat Qingqiu Lihua in this battle, then he would definitely be ranked in the top 6. Now that he thought about it carefully, when he had just arrived at the Myriad Lightning Extreme Ground, the 13 top geniuses of the White Tiger Empire were extremely dazzling. In the end, a few of them were killed by Ling Xiao and 2 were killed by Mu Wanchuang. Now, only a few of them were left in the Challenger ranking tournament. There are only 7 people left. Amongst these 7 people, the Heavenly Wolf Young Master and the Silver Wolf Princess had no chance of competing for the top 6 positions. The 3 dark horses were challenging the original hegemony. This was a pretty good show. Now that Ling Xiao was up against Qingqiu Lihua, if he could win, then he could not only take revenge for losing his chance to enter the competition, but also secure a spot in the top 6. Thus, he had to win this battle. Qingqiu Lihua was no exception. She had stolen Ling Xiao's chance to enter the competition, so she feared losing to Ling Xiao. Then she'd be worse than trash. Don't worry, I won't kill you, but I'll definitely show you what it means to be defeated and humiliated. Ling Xiao stood on the stage and crooked his finger at Qingqiu Lihua as he spoke coldly. He wanted to beat this woman until she couldn't fight anymore. Then she'd become a point-giving machine from head to toe. For a genius like him, this was hard to accept. But the harder it was to accept, the more Ling Xiao wanted to do it. He couldn't let his opponent have an easy time. Qingqiu Lihua slowly stood up and looked at Ling Xiao cautiously. Even though she was very confident, Ling Xiao already displayed a rather terrifying strength in that battle when he defeated Xiao Budian. She had to be more cautious, because once she lost, even if she didn't die, she probably wouldn't have the chance to fight again. It was impossible for Ling Xiao, this guy, to give her a chance. She absolutely couldn't underestimate the enemy. Otherwise, it wouldn't just be a loss in exchange, but an even heavier blow. She finally jumped onto the stage. The Qingqiu Silver Fox bloodline instantly erupted. Behind her, 9 long tails dragged behind her. There was even a terrifying Heavenly Fox demonic fire burning behind her. She did not have a martial soul, but she had the Silver Fox bloodline and Heavenly Fox demonic fire. This was enough. Moreover, she even possessed a pair of eyes of enchantment that could charm all men in the world. She did not believe that a man like Ling Xiao could resist her. Draw your sword. I want to see just how powerful your sword art, Ling Xiao, is. Qingqiu Lihua stared at Ling Xiao. She did not even dare to blink. That was because she had already stepped onto the stage. Perhaps she would lose her life in the blink of an eye. Sword art? There's no need for that. Aren't you good at fire attacks? The moves that you're best at are all fire-based. In that case, I'll defeat you with fire. Ling Xiao wanted to defeat his opponent with the fighting style that his opponent was most proud of. He wanted to give Qingqiu Lihua the greatest blow. Hee, you're simply courting death. Qingqiu Lihua sneered. If you use a sword, you might have a chance to defeat me. Using fire, you won't stand a chance. It seems like you're very confident in yourself. However, don't you think it's foolish to give up on what you're good at and use an attack that you're not good at? Unfortunately, sword art has always been my favorite attacking style. However, it's not my strongest attacking style. Ling Xiao smiled. The shadow of the immemorial golden crow appeared behind him. A blazing light was released from his body. Terrifying flames surged up. It's actually the true Samadhi fire. Qingqiu Lihua's face instantly turned ugly. The true Samadhi fire was a divine fire, while her celestial fox demon fire was merely an immortal fire. Naturally, the immortal fire had no chance of winning against the divine fire. Fortunately, she still had the silver fox bloodline, together with the celestial fox demon fire. It was enough to let the demon fire unleash the power of the divine fire. Otherwise, it would be really ugly today. This guy. Everyone looked at Ling Xiao in shock. Powerful defense, terrifying swordsmanship, and now such a terrifying flame. Was there anything this guy didn't know? If they knew that those were not all that Ling Xiao had, they would probably be even more surprised. Very well. Flame against flame. It's very fair. Let me see if your true Samadhi fire is real. Chapter 1973. The flames rose and the entire arena became extremely hot. Suddenly, the demon fox opened her mouth and a blood-red fireball flew towards Ling Xiao at a speed that was hard to see with the naked eye. Huff! The air was instantly filled with an unpleasant smell of burnt flesh. Good timing! Ling Xiao smiled coldly and released a red sun all. However, this red sun all was surrounded by the terrifying true Samadhi fire. Boom! The red sun all and the fireball collided in the void of the arena, and a terrifying explosion resounded throughout the entire Thunder City. This attack was actually evenly matched. Seems like it should be the real true Samadhi fire. Otherwise, it would be impossible for it to be evenly matched with the silver fox bloodline and the sky fox demon fire. This Ling Xiao is really surprising. Many people even stood up excitedly because this battle was really exciting. It was so exciting that they did not even want to blink. Seeing that her attack had failed, Green Hilly Fire was already prepared for the second move. Above her head, a strange ring appeared. As the ring spat out, countless flames turned into sharp arrows and shot towards Ling Xiao. They were densely packed and destroyed everything in their path. True Samadhi fire, fire dragon burning the sky. Ling Xiao retreated and then moved forward again. Both of his hands pushed out, and a terrifying fire dragon, formed by the true Samadhi fire, roared and charged towards the countless flame arrows. Devour! 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 The terrifying fire dragon devoured all the flame arrows. In the end, both of them perished in the sky. It seemed to be a draw again. However, those with eyes could see that Ling Xiao was clearly playing with Green Hilly Fire. His attack seemed to be as strong as Green Hilly Fire's attack. Kill! Seeing that her attack was fruitless, Green Hilly Fire became extremely furious. Her roar, that had almost changed its tone, was completely devoid of the demure demeanor of a lady. It was more like a ferocious beast. At that moment, the flames burned the sky, and endless sky fox demon fire was released from the 9 tails of the 9-tailed demon fox, covering the entire arena. The flames rolled and turned into fire foxes, pouncing towards Ling Xiao one by one. This was the world of demonic flames, the world of raging flames. He believed that anyone who was touched by this demonic fire would be instantly turned into ashes. Demonic flame domain. Domain was the specialty of Grotto Heaven realm martial artists. Many martial artists would abandon it after reaching the yin-yang realm. However, some people inherited it and made the power of their domain stronger and stronger. The Green Hilly Fire's demonic flame domain was just like that. The terrifying flames did not only burn, they also contained the Green Hilly Fire's powerful battle intent. In Ling Xiao's eyes, it was as if countless flaming foxes had surrounded him, and there was no end to them. The combination of the domain and the battle intent was truly a frightening existence. Although everyone had battle intent, there were very few people who could truly convert it into battle strength. This had nothing to do with one's cultivation. It was purely related to one's perception and soul force. And obviously, the Green Hilly Fire had done it. Those fire foxes represented the battle intent of the Green Hilly Fire. the will of the heavenly fox, demonic flame. In terms of flames, I, Ling Xiao, will not lose to you. Burning heaven. The Tai Chi eye rotated, and a huge eye appeared above Ling Xiao's head. Then, the true Samadhi fire filled the entire arena, turning into a terrifying fire dragon. The terrifying fire dragon roared and charged towards the fire foxes, wanting to fight for the king of the flames. This was the secret technique of soul adjudication, which was infused with Ling Xiao's destructive battle intent. The battle intent exploded, and the true Samadhi fire wanted to destroy and annihilate everything. Coupled with the power of the divine fire, it was truly terrifying. This guy's soul force is so powerful. Coupled with the divine fire, it's simply enviable. Why did he still cultivate sword techniques? I can't understand. The Green Hill, Li Fire watched all this with jealousy. It was unknown whether it was jealousy of Ling Xiao's omnipotence or the fact that Ling Xiao had so many treasures. The divine fire versus the demonic flame. The fire dragon versus the fire foxes. The ultimate collision between the two fighting intents set off wave after wave of flame, frenzied tides on the arena. A moment later, the demonic flame domain was completely shattered, and the battle intent was repelled. If that's all you've got, then this battle should be over. What a waste! The Black Tortoise Temple actually gave the first trial ground to you. What a joke! After saying that, Ling Xiao's figure flickered. His fists were wrapped in the true Samadhi fire, and he charged towards the Green Hill Leaf Fire. If the other party didn't have any other abilities, then this battle would end here. Previously, he had defeated the Green Hill Leaf Fire's attacks step by step. Now he was going to start his plan of torturing the other party to make the Green Hill Leaf Fire lose all of its fighting strength. The Green Hill Leaf Fire roared towards the sky, and at the same time her figure accelerated. She didn't dare to go against Ling Xiao's true Samadhi fire because she could feel that the flame was too terrifying. It wasn't something that her demonic fox fire could compare to. Can you dodge it? Godly light travel. In an instant, Ling Xiao appeared beside the nine-tailed demonic fox, and his terrifying fists punched out. Even though the Green Hill Leaf Fire put up a defense at the first moment, it was useless. The huge body of the demonic fox was sent flying. The demonic fox let out a miserable shriek, and the air was filled with the stench of burnt fur. Defeated, the Green Hill Leaf Fire is probably going to fall out of the ring. When everyone saw this scene, they had the same thought. However, a figure suddenly appeared in the path of the nine-tailed demonic fox, and suddenly kicked out, bringing along the same terrifying flame. Boom! The body of the nine-tailed demonic fox was hit again. She, who was about to fall out of the ring, let out a miserable shriek and fell to the center of the ring. Want to end the battle so easily? How was that possible? Although Ling Xiao didn't intend to kill the Green Hill Leaf Fire, he wanted everyone to understand that there was a heavy price to pay for snatching his trial opportunity. Eye of Charm. The nine-tailed demonic fox who fell out of the ring instantly returned to the appearance of the Green Hill Leaf Fire, and two strange lights shot out from her eyes. At that moment, the entire world seemed to have turned pink. Many of the weaker cultivators near the martial stage, whose soul force wasn't strong enough, had their eyes turn into heart shapes in an instant. They even revealed lecherous smiles, as if they had been completely captivated by this bewitching gaze. At that moment, Ling Xiao, who bore the brunt of the attack, stopped attacking. His entire body's movements became stiff, and even the true Samadhi fire seemed to be extinguished. Eye of Charm, bewitching and treacherous. It could charm everything, including the flame. Even the divine fire seemed to be unable to escape from its control. True Samadhi fire, help me burn him to death. Green Hill Leaf Fire fell to the ground, obviously suffering from heavy injuries. However, at that moment, a victorious smile appeared on her face. Once the true Samadhi fire was charmed by the Eye of Charm, Ling Xiao would be completely defeated. because Ling Xiao seemed to have been affected by the Eye of Charm. Although it wasn't to the extent of losing his rationality completely, it was just a little bit of loss. Chapter 1974. What a powerful ocular skill. It can actually charm the divine fire. That's amazing. At that moment, Ling Xiao's voice caused the smile on Qingqiu Li Hua's face to stiffen instantly. That's impossible. Even if you're not charmed by me, you'll definitely be affected. Qingqiu Li Hua exclaimed, "What a foolish person. I'm not even afraid of the divine light of destiny. Why would I be afraid of your Eye of Charm? Next, let me show you what a real ocular skill is." Ling Xiao's lips curled into a sneer. The three-leaf demonic eye in his right eye opened. The cold, eerie, and suffocating demonic light flickered and collided with Qingqiu Li Hua's gaze in the void. Seeing Ling Xiao's three-leaf demonic eye, Qingqiu Li Hua was so frightened that she quickly closed her eyes. The terrifying demonic light made her feel extremely threatened. She had ocular skills herself, so she knew very well how terrifying her opponent's ocular skill was. Do you think you can avoid it just by closing your eyes? Three-leaf demonic eye, soul catcher. The demonic light in Ling Xiao's right eye was even more terrifying. Powerful soul power fused into the demonic light and was instantly injected into Qingqiu Li Hua's body. No. At that moment, Qingqiu Li Hua let out a hysterical scream. That was because she knew very well what would happen next once she was controlled by the demonic eye. She would not be able to admit defeat. She would not be able to jump out of the ring. She would even have to do whatever her opponent asked her to do. She didn't know how evil and terrifying Ling Xiao was. But in the moment before she was controlled, she really felt an incomparable sense of fear. She saw her tragic future. "Kneel!" Ling Xiao's voice rang in the ring. The spectators outside the ring were a little stunned because, although they saw the slight change in Ling Xiao's eyes, they could not feel the power of the demonic light. They did not know that Qingqiu Li Hua was controlled by Ling Xiao at that moment, so they did not understand why Ling Xiao would suddenly say that. As the saying goes, a warrior can be killed but not humiliated. That Qingqiu Li Hua is one of the 13 top geniuses, after all. How could he possibly kneel before him? This is too laughable. That's right. Ling Xiao can kill her, but he can't make her kneel. However, as soon as these two people finished speaking, they were slapped in the face. They stared at the ring with their mouths agape. Qingqiu Li Hua knelt on the ground and faced Ling Xiao sincerely, without the slightest arrogance or fighting spirit. "Tell me who you are." Ling Xiao said indifferently. Hearing this, the first to react was the magic cube venerable. He let out a furious roar and unleashed terrifying might, intending to awaken the green hill leaf fire from the demonic eye's control. However, his roar was stopped midway by Taoist One Eyebrows. "What are you doing?" Taoist One Brow didn't give Venerable Magic Cube any face at all. He directly struck out with his palm. As a rebirth realm warrior, he had actually managed to heavily injure Venerable Magic Cube with a single strike. I've said that no one is allowed to break the rules of the White Tiger meat. Are you from the Black Tortoise Divine Temple challenging my patience? If you dare to do this again, I'll kill you without mercy. Venerable Magic Cube Venerable's eyes were filled with helplessness and frustration. If he had known that this would happen, he would have killed Ling Xiao earlier. He shouldn't have left this fellow alive. Fairy Qingqiu and I are spies sent to the Silver Fox Empire by the Black Tortoise Divine Temple. On the surface, we're the queen of Qingqiu's disciples, but in reality, we're just collecting information for the Black Tortoise Divine Temple and preparing their plan to unify the White Tiger continent. Qingqiu Li Hua's words caused a huge uproar. The queen of Qingqiu was naturally the most shocked. She had always treated the two of them as her own daughters and treated them with utmost care and concern. She didn't even hesitate to come here personally to avenge Fairy Qingqiu. However, reality slapped her hard in the face. The two disciples that she had always doted on were actually spies? No, this is impossible. Kid, what kind of sorcery did you use? The Queen of Qingqiu couldn't believe this reality. She felt that Ling Xiao was purposely messing with her mind. Hee sorcery? You're the queen of the Silver Fox Empire. It shouldn't be difficult for you to investigate it yourself. I'm sure you know better than I do what the two of them did in the Silver Fox Empire. Ling Xiao sneered. From what I know, the Black Tortoise Divine Temple has spies in all 5 factions. I'm not sure who exactly they are, and I'm guessing that Qingqiu Lihu doesn't know either. However, I believe that everyone here is smart. You'll know after a little investigation. Kid, stop trying to mislead us with your lies. The Tianhai king roared furiously, because no emperor would want to be played like a fool. That would be too embarrassing. Even if there were spies, they wouldn't admit it. At most, they would get rid of them, secretly. Mislead us with lies? Why do you think the Venerable of the Magic Cube attacked me? Ling Xiao sneered. Tianhai king, I'm afraid that your daughter-in-law, the Crown Princess, is one of the spies. Of course, I'm just guessing. You can find out whether it's true or not. Ha 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 ha, young man, you're really amazing. I really have to look at you in a different light. Taoist Ime suddenly laughed and said, In fact, I've already found out the spies in the genie school. However, God has the virtue of cherishing life and has always hoped that they would repent. These 3 people are the 100-eyed demon Lord Wulong, the 5th son, and the 6th son. He actually admitted that there were spies in the genie school. It seemed that he really intended to completely cut off all ties with the Black Tortoise Divine Temple today. No wonder Taoist Ime doesn't hate Ling Xiao. The person who was killed by Ling Xiao was actually a spy. The crowd suddenly came to a realization. They thought that Taoist Ime didn't want to offend Ling Xiao, but in the end, not only did Ling Xiao not harm the genie school, he even helped them. This was interesting. I only found out about the spies by chance. You can investigate the specifics yourselves. I'm too lazy to care. Now, Qingqiu Lihua, you can destroy your own cultivation. Ling Xiao suddenly looked at Qingqiu Lihua. After successfully sowing discord between the 5 factions and the Black Tortoise Divine Temple, it was time for him to end his own battle. Yes, Qingqiu Lihua suddenly held miserably before collapsing limply onto the stage. He didn't die, but his cultivation was destroyed. Naturally, he couldn't participate in the following battles. This meant that all the participants who hadn't challenged her yet had gotten 3 points in vain. But Ling Xiao didn't care. Although Qingqiu Lihua was powerful, he couldn't be a match for Feng Fei, Tianhai Tyranny, Lei Lai, Muan Chuang, or even Zui Linglong. Although Zui Linglong and Qingqiu Lihua had fought to a draw, it was obvious that Zui Linglong hadn't revealed her full strength. Instead, it was his friends who benefited. So far, Ling Xiao had not only won 3 points and won all 8 battles, but also dragged the Black Tortoise Divine Temple into the abyss. No matter how strong the Black Tortoise Divine Temple was, it had no chance of winning against 5 factions at the same time. Chapter 1975. If they could defeat the 5 powers so easily, Black Tortoise Temple would have done so long ago instead of sending spies. Moreover, the 5 powers now had a new ally, 9 Heavens Palace, which put Black Tortoise Temple in an even more passive position. Xian Ming stared fixedly at Ling Xiao, his eyes filled with rage and hatred as well as a trace of fear. Of course, this fear wasn't because of his strength, but Ling Xiao's frightening intelligence. Too cunning. As long as this brat didn't die, their Black Tortoise Temple and Deep Earth sect would never have good days ahead. Just wait, I'll kill you sooner or later. No matter who I offend, as long as I have the chance, I won't let you off. Feng Fei, Tian Hai Tyranny, Lei Lai Mu Wan Chuang Zui Linglong. Next up should be Ling Xiao. This is too unexpected. This dark horse will probably stay in the dark with Mu Wan Chuang until the end. Long Chen and Cold Plum, on the other hand, should be showing signs of fatigue. They won't be able to fight against the 6 of them. Martial artists with good eyesight could already see the top 6 candidates, but it was hard to predict the exact order of the top 6. The key was the appearance of Mu Wanchuang and Ling Xiao, 2 dark horses. No one knew how strong they were, so there was no way to make a judgment. Who knows who that Ling Xiao is? Finally, someone raised such a question. Although a few people knew that Ling Xiao was His Majesty, the Celestial Emperor of the Celestial Dynasty. But this was something that most people didn't know. Among the spectating cultivators, most of them had only heard of Ling Xiao's name until now. They didn't know anything else. The people around him were unable to answer his question. How laughable. This person's already killed his way into the top 6, but we still don't know his identity? That was the case here, but the situation was completely different in the distant Dragon Phoenix continent. Over there, a grand celebration was being held under Emperor Wu Xiang's command. The curtains were about to open. Even if Ling Xiao stopped here, as long as he didn't die, he would still become one of the top 6 geniuses of the White Tiger meat. How many years had it been? No matter if it was the Heavenly Dragon continent or the Divine Phoenix continent, such a scene had never occurred before. But Ling Xiao did it. Father, I also want to cultivate well and strive to surpass all my peers like His Majesty the Heavenly Emperor. A little boy holding a wooden sword said excitedly to his father, "Ha ha ha! His Majesty the Sky Emperor is a heaven-sent genius. Only one can be born every few 100,000 years. You can't compare to him. But little guy, you also have to work hard. Strive to become a little genius and win glory for the country." The father patted the little boy's head lovingly and said with a smile, "Yes, father, I understand." The same scene was happening everywhere in the Dragon Phoenix continent. The only difference was whether it was a girl or a boy. Ling Xiao's performance was broadcasted to the entire Dragon Phoenix continent through the Law Pagoda. It was truly inspiring. To the people of the Celestial Empire, although Ling Xiao rarely showed himself, he was definitely the spiritual symbol of the entire Celestial Empire. However far he could go, the Heavenly Dynasty Empire would be able to go. Tianfeng City, Tianlong Continent. This place had already become the Ling family's territory. It was a territory bestowed by the Celestial Empire's His Majesty, Ling Xiao. Ling Wuhen sat on the patriarch's seat and looked at the densely packed Ling family members. Then he said solemnly, "You all heard what that so-called Linglong envoy said just now, right?" The audience was silent. "It's good that you all heard it. But I want to tell you all that no matter when, no matter where, His Majesty the Sky Emperor Ling Xiao is our Ling family's only backer. He is also our Ling family's only patriarch. Even I am only a proxy. In the future, when you go outside, no matter what you hear or see, as long as you have this belief in your heart, it will be fine. Our Ling family being able to have today's prosperity and being bestowed Tianfeng City is all thanks to His Majesty the Sky Emperor. Whoever dares to doubt him is a traitor of the Ling family. Did you all hear that? Heard that? It's not loud enough. Heard that? A thunderous sound rang out in the newly built courtyard of the Ling family and soared into the sky. Good, that's right. Then, let's continue to watch the White Tiger meet. The one on the stage was once a little guy who knew nothing. When he was 15 years old, he was only at the first level of the martial vein realm. Now he is not even 18 years old, but he has already stepped onto such a stage. When you see him, think about what you should do in the future. Yes. The square quieted down again. Ling Wuhen turned around and returned to the main hall. Patriarch Ling Xiao is really too strong. Back then, when the 2 of us cultivated here together, I'm only at the pitiful Grotto Heaven realm. He's already at the 16th level of Yin Yang realm. The gap is too big. The one who spoke was Ling Yihong. He used to be one of Ling Xiao's two best friends in the Ling family. This is talent. I really can't help it. But no matter how strong he is, you two are still friends, right? Ling Wuhan said with a smile. That's true. 2 days ago, this guy asked someone to bring me a set of top gold-grade martial arts that is most suitable for Grotto Heaven realm martial artists to cultivate. He also gave me a lot of cultivation pills. I have to hurry up. Although I may not be able to catch up with him in my life, I can't let him down. Ling Yihong gritted his teeth and said, Patriarch, don't blame me. Our Ling family can be what it is today because of his help. This person is really good to his friends. That's right. Now, our Ling family is the most respected in the entire Dragon Phoenix continent. Even those big forces don't dare to look down on us. Moreover, there are more and more talents. It's all because of him. Ling Wuhan also sighed with emotion. People couldn't be heartless. Ling Xiao had brought them so many benefits. How could they betray Ling Xiao? When the Ling family was in great danger, they didn't betray them. Instead, they fought side by side with Ling Xiao. Now, it was even more impossible. All right, let's continue watching the competition. Next should be that Cold Plum's turn. She's the girl whom Ling Xiao got to know in Sky Cloud City. I've not expected her to become so strong. Ling Wuhan smiled as his gaze shot towards the huge crystal screen. The signal released by the Tower of Laws could be directly absorbed by this screen. The current Dragon Phoenix continent had already gradually accepted this technology, which was brought over by Heavenly Dragon Trading Company from Shinji continent. For the next battle, Cold Plum chose Heavenly Wolf Young Master. Those previous opponents basically didn't really display Cold Plum's battle power. This time she chose Heavenly Wolf Young Master, probably to prove herself. Anyway, there was no way to avoid it. Sooner or later, there would be a battle, so avoiding it was meaningless. Moreover, in this round, she had no way to avoid it. Moreover, to keep up with Ling Xiao's pace, it was impossible to keep avoiding these strong practitioners. Chapter 1976. The Heavenly Wolf Prince wasn't surprised by Cold Plum's challenge, but he was somewhat angry. Although his battle results weren't great, he was still one of the 13 top geniuses. Although he had lost to Ling Xiao, he didn't believe that a servant girl of Ling Xiao could defeat him. At this time, the Heavenly Wolf Young Master had almost recovered from his injuries. He stepped onto the stage and let out a long howl towards the sky, like the angry howl of a wolf. It was to vent his dissatisfaction and to express his determination and fighting spirit. Are you and that Ling Xiao a couple or a master and servant relationship? The Heavenly Wolf Prince looked at Cold Plum and asked an inexplicable question. Master and servant? Cold Plum actually hesitated for a moment. It was obvious that she hoped that she and Ling Xiao were a couple, but after hesitating for a moment, she still made a safer choice. She didn't want to force Ling Xiao. She knew that Ling Xiao was in love with the Moon Maiden. If she really forced him, they might not even be friends. What a pity! The Heavenly Wolf Prince shook his head and revealed a regretful expression. What do you mean? Cold Plum stared at the Heavenly Wolf Prince and asked. She didn't understand. Regardless of whether she and Ling Xiao were a master and servant or a couple, it didn't seem to affect the outcome of this battle, right? If you were his girlfriend, he would be more hurt if I defeated you. The Heavenly Wolf Prince sighed. He had already lost to Ling Xiao, so it was impossible for him to meet Ling Xiao again. Defeating Cold Plum and taking revenge on Ling Xiao wasn't a problem for him. He was a spy of the Black Tortoise Divine Temple in the Yulang Empire. Because of Ling Xiao, his identity might be exposed. How could this give him a headache? To be honest, he even had the intention to kill Ling Xiao. Unfortunately, he wasn't a match for Ling Xiao. Thus, This grudge was naturally transferred to Cold Plum. The audience obviously didn't know what the Heavenly Wolf Prince was thinking. They only thought that the Heavenly Wolf Prince was venting his anger on Cold Plum after being defeated by Ling Xiao. To be honest, although people already had a high opinion of Ling Xiao, they still maintained a wait-and-see attitude towards Cold Plum. After all, up until now, Lang Mei had not displayed a strength that could completely put people at ease. She was not as domineering as Ling Xiao, who could destroy everything in his path and even cripple the cultivation of the Green Hill Lihua. The Heavenly Wolf young master had used his bloodline power from the very beginning. As he howled into the sky, his body rapidly changed. He didn't become bigger. Instead, he became a half-wolf. His body's as ants, so wolves. STSS Wolf Prince, est, S is wolf cestas wolf. Wolf, SSSSSS, his is powerfuls, made countless martial artists tremble. His icy cold wolf's eyes stared fixedly at Cold Plum. I want to tell you that the Full Moon Empire's genius martial artists are not to be humiliated. It's definitely not a coincidence that I'm ranked among the top 13 geniuses. This was his honors battle. It was no longer about the White Tiger Meat's ranking. To him, this battle could only be won. Defeat was not an option. What a powerful battle intent. It looks like Cold Plum is in trouble this time. Everyone muttered inwardly. The Heavenly Wolf Prince wanted to use his strength to prove that he was still a powerful martial artist who could rank among the top 6. He wasn't someone that anyone could humiliate. This was the White Tiger Meat stage. It was a competition that was broadcasted live to the entire White Tiger continent and Dragon Phoenix continent. The Heavenly Wolf Prince didn't just represent himself. He also represented the entire Full Moon Empire. He definitely couldn't lose again. Ling Xiao, you should regret not crippling my cultivation. Your maidservant, Ling Xiao, will definitely lose this battle. It's a pity that she's not your girlfriend. Otherwise, you'd be even more heartbroken. The Heavenly Wolf Prince looked at Ling Xiao and said, Cold Plum isn't my maidservant. She's my, Ling Xiao's, confidant. She's one of my closest friends. If you defeat her, I'll naturally be very heartbroken. I might even be unable to restrain myself from killing you. Ling Xiao looked indifferently at the Heavenly Wolf Prince and said, Unfortunately, do you really have the ability to defeat her? Your battle intent has long been worn away by the continuous losses. Very good. It's good that you care about her. I'll let you witness that painful moment. You can rest assured that I won't kill her. I'll only humiliate her and make her lose. The Heavenly Wolf Prince was clearly excited. Ling Xiao's concern for Cold Plum was clearly not an act. This made him very satisfied. On the opposite side of the stage, Cold Plum's face was flushed red. She was clearly surprised by Ling Xiao's words. However, after hearing Ling Xiao's words, her battle intent clearly soared. It was for no other reason than Ling Xiao's trust and love for her. She definitely couldn't lose this battle. Come, Cold Plum. Today, I'll let you see what despair is with your own eyes. With that, the Heavenly Wolf Prince howled at the sky again. A pair of enormous claws appeared in the sky. The claws were completely condensed from yin-yang energy and fused with the terrifying battle intent of the Heavenly Wolf Prince. The wind and clouds stirred, and the sky changed color. It was as if the sky was going to be torn apart. Powerful yin-yang energy constantly spewed out from his body, rolling and roaring on the stage. The peak of the 18th level of the yin-yang realm. Only now did people realize that the Heavenly Wolf Prince had actually achieved a breakthrough in his cultivation despite his continuous setbacks. Humans indeed had to endure hardships. Only through hardships could a person truly achieve a breakthrough. Cold Plum is really unlucky. Everyone shook their heads. The peak of the 18th level of the yin-yang realm was already comparable to Tiny Tot. Even Zue Linglong was only at this level of cultivation. How could Cold Plum have any chance of winning against such an enemy. As the Heavenly Wolf Prince's opponent, Cold Plum could clearly feel the terrifying power of this powerful cultivation constantly oppressing her. It made her body tremble continuously. The strength of her opponent was truly beyond her imagination. However, Cold Plum was not afraid because of this. The trembling of her body soon stopped. Lang Mei's body floated in the void like a piece of black cloud. She had no foundation, but no one dared to ignore her. Ling Xiao's gaze did not change at all. The Heavenly Wolf Prince's breakthrough was indeed out of his expectations. However, this kind of breakthrough was only a very small one. After all, the Heavenly Wolf Prince's cultivation had already reached the early stage of the 18th level of the Yin-Yang realm. It was indeed impressive to break through from the early stage to the peak stage. Fortunately, it was not a major breakthrough. Cold Plum, how are you going to deal with this? Ling Xiao looked at Cold Plum. If he was the one standing there, he could easily defeat the Heavenly Wolf Prince. However, Cold Plum was not him. She did not have his extreme control over her inner strength. This battle was not going to be easy. It was hard to predict the outcome. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.